Hello, everybody. Welcome back to yet another fantastic little Friday session. This will be the final stream on the Sunsetters project so far. I'm sure there might be more updates in the future, but, is what it is. Let's see how everybody is. Let me just check my chat thing. Let's see. Hell in the Woods, we have a lot. He says, hi, Blueberry, which Blueberry was technically first. So, sorry, Hell in the Woods, you were not technically first. But, hey, you can pretend. You pretend all you like. Hi. Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome to see you. Good. Chaos, yo. Always a pleasure to have you. Fantastic. But give people a couple of minutes to roll in. That's not a problem. Yeah, second. You could say second. I'd agree with second. You definitely look like you were the second. Congratulations. Oh, what a week. What a week. How's your week been?
It's been decent. I have been playing Donkey Kong, but I finished that yesterday.
Alright.
Good game, very good game.
On Bonanza, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And much to my surprise, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the mere fact is there's something to spoil. That's not what I expected from a Donkey Kong game.
That is surprising, I gotta be honest, because, the only thing I would have thought there could have been a spoiler would have been the fact that, you had, I suppose, maybe a bit of Pauline's backstory. Because there's, Kid Pauline in the game. I guess if it's more than that, that's something.
No, it's something else, which is very fun.
Okay.
Great game.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, even Hell in the Woods asks, how's it going, Jordan? Look at that, isn't that nice?
It's okay. Tomorrow I'm going to Manchester to see Ellie, who will probably be joining us in the chat.
Yeah, she'll probably make a celeb appearance, I'm sure. As for me, it's been a fair bit of, typically work and everything like that, figuring out the next steps for the channel, working on membership things, because I'm in a boot camp for it, so I have to do a little bit more with that kind of members content and everything. I've also finished catching up on all our story compilations, so we'll have some of those videos coming out this upcoming week, and then for August, when August starts, we're going to have the July one, just so we're all kind of caught up, because I know people wanted some of the compilations back, and it just took me a little while to kind of get back in the motions of doing that. But yeah, so that's good. We got a fair amount of videos next week. It's gonna be a bit busy, but I don't really think that's a problem, in my opinion. Blueberry, hi buddy, welcome to chat. And yes, Hell in the Woods. Ellie is the question. Ellie is Jordan's partner.
Yeah. And
Mystery solved.
She's been in the chat for all these streams, and I'm sure she'll be in this one again.
Absolutely. She tends to make an appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always a fun addition. Any new ARGs have I found on Twitter? No. Besides, obviously, the one that you told us about last week, which is yours. No, actually, that's not technically true. There is a story I found on Twitter. And I will make a video on it. It starts off pretty decent. It does go to a place I think is a bit ridiculous, but it's still a story nonetheless, and so I will end up covering it. Is it an ARG, though? Absolutely not. It's just a story. It's very much a story. It does have pictures and videos. 4. It's something. Yeah. And then Blue Sky. There's one on Blue Sky that's maybe still going. I have to see, because it's been a week since I've heard anything from it, and so we'll see. The Ethics Committee. Hi, welcome to chat. The whole committee. Wow, that's a big committee. Incredible. From which country is the other question, because there's multiple ethics committees. Really curious about that. Married. No, they're not married.
No.
Not married. You like my new video today? Thank you, Hal. Ren, welcome to chat, buddy.
Hi,
Good to have you. Good to have you. Well, I'm not going to tell you what the stories are going to be on Twitter and Blue Sky, because then you can find them. And I'm going to bring them to you. I'm going to make videos on them. That's part of the fun, is that I bring you things that you might not have heard of, Like Ted the Caver, even though that was from 2001. But still a cool fucking story that a lot of people might not know of. Don't be sorry. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. It's just the fun of everything. Ellie! There's Ellie!
Hi, Ellie.
Welcome back. Good to see you, as always. So, we have finally reached what looks like the final EP at this moment in time of the Sunsetters project.
Yeah, we'll be listening to the last material for today, and there's going to be more albums in the future, but we haven't made them yet.
There we go. Still incredibly bright. And now I'm incredibly dark.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? There's no winning with this light system. It's just either we are incredibly bright or we're not. It's all right. Oh, excuse me, so rude. That was just for you guys, exclusive right there. You just watched my Binary Moon Project video. Good, because we get a live Q&A with the creator Dustin Stevens tomorrow. That's gonna be really fun. Really looking forward to that. I've got some questions lined up for him. It's gonna be very fun. Darkness, yeah, I prefer darkness too, Ellie. I got to admit. We could do darkness, but the only problem is then it kind of blocks some of the window, and if there's any nice breeze coming through, it does make quite a difference.
It's like it's gonna get darker anyway. So.
Oh no, for sure, we'll definitely get darker. Flower67, hi, welcome back, good to see you. Okay, everybody. So, I believe there is a on live, yes. They will be live, a live Q&A, which means you guys can even ask questions to the creator of the Binary Moon Project. It's gonna be really cool. It can be pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Right. So, I believe there's a video you want us to start with, Jordan.
Yeah. This we've made it so far just listening to the music, which is the intended experience, but I kind of I want you guys to be able to see the as a demonstration of how this stuff works. I want to show you guys one of the scores, the sheet music for one of the songs. This is gonna be specifically for Burning Books off of the first album, Mythology of Empathy, which we did in the first stream.
Yeah.
And it's a good representation. It's a dense little score. And it just like for those of you who really like the music and are curious about how it was made. Plus, like I get a lot of joy out of watching the notes go past as the music plays.
Look at that. How is it, Jordan and Nate? Well, we're doing quite well, my friend. We're doing quite well. We're doing the last stuff for the Sunsetters project as it currently is. It's going to be fun, bit of listening, bit of discussion, nice little hangout time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting with the score video for Burning Books here. A little bit of behind the scenes for you guys of the Sunsetters project. Here we go. Visual representation.
Yeah, there's a score for every song. We write the scores. That's what music comes from. Place every note.
You should definitely have a score sheet version if you want. I think a lot of people would.
I did do that like years ago for earlier drafts of these. It would take me a while to get ones for the updated version. I might do that. I'm interested in that. I just want to get some manuals.
Jay Ben, hi, welcome to chat, buddy. It is Biddy Blueberry, yeah, catch. Biddy Art. Awesome.
Yeah, just to give some insight into how this all works.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
And
Good.
to answer the audience's question, Flowers, I watch a fair few of his gaming videos. I don't watch the proper Nate at Night stuff so much, but that's because like I've read a lot of internet fiction or horror over the years, and I've kind of had my fill.
Yeah, that's fair. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, trying to get back into the meat and veg of the project. So, this is EP number 2, Ancestor. What kind of information can you lay up for us?
Oh, God, well,
because this is like the latest one in the timeline, isn't it?
Yeah, this will be about in terms of the fiction, this will be 2006. And by this point, so this whole time we've had the same lineup, like singer Elsie Carr, guitarist Deegan Allen, other guitarist Remy Larson, bassist Paul Blackwood, drummer Finn Jensby. But then, after Railroad, Remy Larson left the band for a bit. He took a break, and No Entry was done with a different guitarist,
right?
Ridley Coe, who goes by her stage name Sally Death. But then she left after No Entry. I'll just tell you right now, we're gonna find out more about that in this stream. But after Ancestor, we're gonna find out a lot of lore. But by this point, Remy comes back, and like he's had his break. He's recommitted to the project, but he's brought with him a lot of material that he wants to do. It's not enough for a full album, and like some of the stuff he had been working on in the band before. So there's gonna be some material on here that is like directly tied to albums we've heard already, but it's more like this is what the other stuff was based on. I'll spell it out. The title track, We Excavate, off of the album We Excavate. Like it's implied here that the melody in that song comes from one of the songs here on Ancestor, but he hadn't completed it by then, but they turned it into the song We Excavate. And here he's brought it back for the proper context.
So it'll sound quite familiar.
Yeah.
And
the thing about Ancestor is, as this is primarily Remy's project, it's got a lot of Remy's DNA in it. And what Remy brings to the band, he's the one who's most interested in metal and like the various subgenres of metal and kind of like I'd even outright say like depressing metal. Although like this isn't going to be that depressing. It's going to be slow, like down tuned, or maybe I don't know if that's the right even word for it, but down tempo rather. But it's going to build into something. But you got to go into this expecting slow. Maybe a slow crawl, slow build. But like I don't know, Lindsay and I are both proud of this, as all the rest of them.
No, I'm looking forward to it. So where do we start?
We'll do the YouTube thing. So there's no concept to this one. Like in terms of like listening to this as an EP of its own, it doesn't tell a story. But like the songs are kind of just unrelated. But it's handled more like loose poetry. The only songs with lyrics are The Fog and The Drought. And The Fog does tell a story. The Fog is about a piece of Chinese mythology of this war between Chio, I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly, and was a legendary hero who the leader of the Nina Li tribes versus the Yellow Emperor. And this myth is related to like the founding of China. and the Fog is going to be from Chio's perspective, but ultimately, like, Chio doesn't succeed. It's a good thing that the Yellow Emperor wins. He forms the Han Empire. He forms China.
Yes, he does.
But then the Drought's going to have a bit of almost like a little bit of a nightmare loosely based on that, and then it's going to go in a little bit of philosophical poetry direction. But this is very much just a collection of songs, although musically they feel a bit more tied together. This is just like, we're just going for it here. We're just whatever the hell came out.
Cool. Oh, so is there any prose that goes with these that we need?
No.
No? Just kind of like straight all the songs. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll answer chat real quick there. So is this an album or an ARG? This is kind of, I don't know if ARG is exactly the right word you would call your project.
I'd just call it internet fiction.
Yeah, it's a big internet fiction project, I suppose is a good word for it.
It is experimental, but like it's primarily the primary medium here is music. But
yes,
but like I intend for the audience to they discover it through the Sunsetter's website, and they learn about they find all the albums through there and all the ways to experience them, and it's supposed to emulate the feeling of like discovering a band you've never heard of, and they've got this whole discography, and you're kind of you're getting familiar with all of them, you're getting into it, maybe you're becoming a fan of it, but there's a fiction tied to it. This is a fictional band in a different universe. We hear it as MIDI, but you got to pretend that in that universe is actual rock instruments, and so there's pieces of lore connected to this, which are in the form of like magazine interviews with band members, and every album also has like the lyric booklet fleshed out, and it's really it's all just about the experience of discovering a band, a rock band, or rock metal.
Yeah, except it's not like you're discovering them, and they're still in the early stages as well. This is already at this point an established band. They've already led a level of a life. Yeah. You're just seeing what the journey is.
Yeah, in the previous streams we covered the earlier albums.
Yeah, which showed us a fair bit of the story, including like you talked about the magazine interviews and everything, which kind of gave you a little bit more insight to kind of what mostly Deegan, but a little bit of like the dynamics and even a bit of their history. He kind of said a little bit. He didn't say a massive amount, but
yeah,
apparently we are going to get a fair bit more lore at this point.
Yeah,
so we're excited to see where all this is going to go.
Yeah, like I would go as far as to say we're gonna get a horror story, one that I wrote just a couple months ago. So
there you fucking go, music and a horror story. Can't go wrong with that.
But first, Ancestor. We're just going with vibes here.
All right.
So how I'm thinking we'll do this.
Yep.
Prelude first, then a break if necessary, and then By Day in the Fog together, and then a break if necessary, and then By Night in the Drought together.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Prelude.
Prelude. Sound of wind. This will be Remy on the guitar. This is a core Lindsay piece.
Correct.
Pause here and discuss if need be. No, I say that one's a core Lindsay piece because I'm pretty sure Lindsay actually just composed that on guitar and then put it into view score afterwards. Lindsay's pretty good at composing like long, especially acoustic guitar things. And often very pretty ones, I think.
It was good.
That was actually that was one of the first songs Lindsay had written like a decade ago. And we weren't really partly like Ancestor partly exists just to give that song context, but it's become its own thing.
Good reference as well. Yet again, flower. I don't agree with the show on that though. Green is obviously a creative color, but you know, it's just very funny. You like that? I'm getting scared. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But ultimately, it's a prelude because there's a tone setter. It's basically a standalone piece. It's not an overture or anything. It doesn't foreshadow the rest of it necessarily. It's just a prelude.
It's like an intro piece. Yeah. It just kind of is like, hey, this is what you can kind of expect to come along.
Yeah, but like tonally.
Yeah. No. Right. Time to jump into By Day.
Yep.
Followed by
The Fog.
The Fog. sound similar.
I mean, it's not quite supposed to. It's more that this is a kind of a classic metal, kind of Black Sabbath kind of style. And when you get down to the compositions, like a lot of the songs we made have been similar genres.
Yeah. But it does kind of remind me of some of the metal-ish Metallica ones.
That's fair. Plus, like, it's also, as this is an EP, it's allowed to be a bit more
experimental.
Yeah, and it's allowed to feel similar to the actual album.
Yeah, that's which is good. It's good that they noticed that.
Thank you.
And this is just the EP.
Yeah. We have done 3 other screens. A lot of material.
It's a lot of music. Awesome time for the chat, buddy. Represent the tribes that are attacking the yellow emperor, or is it the other way around?
It's Chio and its tribes. They're attacking the Yellow Emperor. And the Yellow Emperor uses some magic to produce a big fog that confuses them.
Yeah.
Or it might have been the other way around, actually. Chio might have been the one who made the fog.
But most likely, because typically, weirdly enough, in a lot of Chinese history and mythology, it's always people in yellow that do magic.
That's a good point, yeah.
The yellow fucking shirt. Always yellow clothed people who do magic. It's fucking weird.
Honestly, like, I'm not too fresh on this one. This concept belongs to Lindsay. And the lyrics belong to Lindsay as well.
It does sound like they were definitely having a life plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, using the fog to be able to trick the people.
I'm wondering if Austin in chat is my friend Audrey. I invited Audrey as well. Audrey, like some kind of super fan.
Alright. Well, there's one way to find out. Audrey, are you in the chat with us? Let us know.
We can pause it there.
Yeah, of course. We'll switch back to here for us each. There we go. I was asking if Audrey was in the chat with us. If not, that's okay. I'm just trying things.
I'm just wondering if that awesome possum in chat is my friend Audrey.
Could be.
I had invited her.
So how's everybody feeling? How we liking the EP so far? I like the fact that it also goes into a little bit of my nerdy territory of my love of Chinese history and mythology, and the fact that those things branch together way too fucking much and very often. And so a lot of their stories sound like bullshit, and it's because it's romanticized.
Yeah.
They love to romanticize a lot of their stuff. But it's mostly true. But it is romanticized.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, some of the stories are fucking cool, so I can't help it. Vibing like that. Flowers is good. Okay. People were doing some kind of a hangman spelling game, I'm assuming, in the chat with Mommy Dommy roleplay session at Little Caesars. It's a very long name. It's also very fucking funny. Do I like the DHMIS things you said? Of course. I'm a big DHMIS fan. I even watched the show when it came out, and then I'm still waiting on the wakey things happen and the whatever the new things you're going to be doing with it. I'm very excited, but I also understand that projects need time and money and effort, and so I'm happy to wait. But yes, I very much enjoy. But I just like anything horror anyway. I just can't help it. Doesn't matter what form it comes in. I'm interested. Like they had the trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the movie coming out. Gotta admit, looks all right. I like the first movie. I thought it was. I mean, it was a bit weird, but I thought it was quite good. Second movie looks a little bit more maybe scary, but You know, if you want an animatronic movie that horrifies you, but still is a little goofy because it's animatronics killing people in, a fucking restaurant. Willy's Wonderland. Fucking awesome movie. Nicolas Cage is a star. Doesn't say a word. Super fucking funny. Really, really good. Ellie says, all the horror. Nice. Hell in the Woods says, yeah. Flower says, why? I'm guessing they're still doing their Hangman spelling game or whatever. DHMIS. Yes. Don't hug
Correct.
me. I'm scared.
Very good.
That's
correct.
what it stands for. It's great. If you haven't seen Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, the first parts, the first series of it, I guess it's not exactly a show, is on YouTube for free. Then after that, they ended up having a TV show, which is available obviously in select platforms. And then now we're waiting for more stuff. It's great shit. It's really good. The TV show goes a little bit more, maybe lore-wise. I'm really not sure because I thought I understood what the lore was in the YouTube side. And the TV show makes me feel like the lore is very different. So I'm incredibly confused. But I'm all for it. I love that kind of confusion shit. Okay. You guys still go crazy. I was about to say Willy's Wonderland. Ah, damn right, Chaos. It's a good one, isn't it, Chaos? I fucking love Willy's Wonderland. I thought it was awesome. Ellie says, I love puppets. You know what? I like puppets in the right capacity. Like Sesame Street or DHMIS. Or, Bunch of Judy things like that are quite fun. Or even some of, like, the shadow puppetry work and stuff. Like, that's really cool. But then when I feel like they go a little bit too far off into Bizarro territory and they start becoming more like dolls and mannequins, don't like that. I have a hatred for specifically, like, porcelain dolls and mannequins because I played Condemned Criminal Origins as a child, as a young teenager. And there's this awesome mannequin level. And ever since then, I'm like, no, I fucking hate mannequins. Can't do it. Absolute bullshit things. Alright, you guys are having all kinds of fun in chat. I'm happy for you. No idea what's going on, but, you do you. That's not a problem. I can just go around you.
Try not to spam too much, guys.
It's okay, because when we go back to the video side, then none of that shows up, unless people want to find it.
True.
Ellie says, I showed Jordan Big Bird taking lie detector tests last week.
That was good.
That's fucking great. That's very funny. Z equals 88. Are you doing like code now? It's fine. You guys do you. You guys do you. Happy for you. But be careful. If YouTube thinks you're spamming, I can't do anything about that. I can time people out though, but I mean you're being weird and harmless, so I think it's fine. You're just being strange kids. I'm going to assume you're probably older than that, but I'm fair to make my assumptions as well. I could be wrong. Anyway. How's everybody doing? We ready for By Night and
The Drought?
I always forget the second one. I hope so, because we're jumping in.
Now, we'll say beforehand, like, the Drought is primarily a me piece. Like, in fact, I wrote it basically in March, like, while finishing up these revamps on the album. So it's basically an all-new song. All this stuff has been new to you guys, but this... yeah. I'm ready.
Let's do it. By Night.
big crush waves. Yeah, I'm quite proud of the drought.
I think you should be.
This is a pretty particular kind of song. I feel like on its own, it's kind of weird, but although at the end of the album has a very particular flow to it, where it's very slow all the way through, and I made sure to make the transitional pieces of by day and by night. By the time you've already had these slow songs, then you get these transitions which are even slower, and this crawling. You feel this anticipation, this anxiety. You want it to just release, and then the drought comes in. It's just like 10 straight minutes of just headbanging. There's this steady groove, which goes in different places. There's references to other songs on there, like because like at the climax of it, we had the reference to prelude, but then it just goes into this fun little philosophical breakdown, and I don't know. Like, I really like the vibe of that song. And it feels lyrically like there's barely any lyrics. There's barely any vocals. The vocals are very repetitive, but it's I wouldn't quite call it dreamlike, but I do think that it feels like a nightmare that's kind of based on the fog. But it just feels like something's broken down, and now we're just seeing it happen now. I don't know. I'm proud of that one.
No, I'm completely with you. I think that is a great way to describe it, because that musically it does feel like you're in a kind of a dream that isn't a pleasant dream. It does feel like it's kind of a bizarre flow, a lot of the same thing happening again and again, which sometimes happens in dreams. Not every person's dream, of course, but I know for me, I will have dreams that repeat, or I might have the same dream a couple of nights in a row, which I think is the fucking worst. I hate when that happens, because then I'm like, am I supposed to do something different in these dreams? I don't understand what's going on. So it is like this somewhat horror dream-like sequence where you could tell the events are probably going to happen again. It seems like that's kind of the vibe I got from the story it was trying to tell, was the fact that it's like, this is going to happen. This is going to keep happening.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly how it's going to go or where it's going to end.
And the philosophical part at the end is it's implying that the Chio is our ancestor. So which kind of it's like our ancestor is just our size. Like we're going to fit right into his shoes, going to fit right into his clothes. We're going to fit right into the events, the pattern of his life. It is kind of repeating.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting little take. I like that. Let me catch us up a chat. I know you guys have been chatting a fair bit, so I'll skip the stuff that is irrelevant.
Yep. I'm going to go take a break, because next we're doing the other project.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. So Ellie was saying, you've been 12-year-old for 50 years. Do you have any skincare tips? Is one of the questions they interrogated Big Bird with. That was great. It's fucking funny. It's really funny. You gotta admit. Hell wants people to decode his thing, and he'll give him $11, which ain't happening. I mean, luckily I could see a lot of the chat that's going on at the same time, so I'm keeping track of all this stuff. And then a lot of people having little jokes. Hell in the Woods typing HITW, teasing their own project. Blueberry asking, how do I 225 XP? I think that's part of it's a leaderboard feature now in YouTube. Come out of fucking nowhere, if I'm completely honest with you. I didn't even know it was a feature, and they tend to tell me stuff. Sometimes. They don't really tell me a whole lot, if I'm completely honest with you. So they call it Top Fans, and it shows up as a leaderboard in live streams. I don't think it's anywhere else. I think it's specifically live streams, where basically every time I think it's like chat, or you're in a video, watching a live stream for a long time, you can also like donate. There's like a variety of ways you can earn XP, and the higher your XP, the higher on the leaderboard you are. So much so that the top three, they all get a crown, kind of like you would see in like a race type situation, everything like that. And so what I like to do with this is at the end of the stream, at least at the end of this stream, I might not do it for every single stream, but at least for this one, we'll most likely do a little thing where the people in the top three get to pick one thing that we do at the end of the stream, whether it be we watch a certain video, as long as it's not copyright problems, that's fine. Maybe they want us to read a certain thing, maybe they want us to discuss a certain topic or whatever. These are all things we can potentially do. So it's a little bit of fun way to give back. If this live gets 50 likes, you have to eat an apple, Jordan and Nathan, on cam. I don't have an issue with that, except for the part that I don't have an apple. But I would do it, but we don't have an apple. Do we have anything else? I mean, to be fair, that's not exactly a difficult thing to do. If we get 50 likes on this live while we're still live, I feel like we need something a little bit more. I could eat a raw egg. Do you want me to do that? I'd have to buy some eggs, but I could do that. That'd be kind of weird. Ooh. People do that though, don't they? It's like a healthy protein breakfast kind of thing. But you can get sick if you're not too careful with that stuff as well. It can also like make you really, get the diarrhea going. So you have to be super careful about that. Blueberries on a Plane. Awesome. Also a good song. Nirvana. I'm on a plane. Okay, then they're stopping the shenanigans. Ren says incredible. I agree. The song was. I quite like a lot of these Sunsetter songs. I think I don't love all of them. I'll be completely honest. I do find most of them are alright. Some of them are quite catchy, and then other ones you really get into. And I'm excited to see because we're gonna get a little bit more into some of the lore now, which we haven't really had a whole lot of lore ahead of time. So I'm excited to see what we're gonna uncover and what we're gonna learn, especially with the horror story aspect. Really tuned into that, obviously. Blueberry says, sounds like Nearly There by Jogir Lil Jadal. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I do apologize if I'm not. I'm guessing that's a song, but I do not know who that is. So if you can give us some context, that'd be cool. Otherwise, I might have to look it up later. How long is this? The stream right now is an hour. Yes, it is an hour. But we're going to go until we finish this stuff, and then we do the leaderboard things. And then, then that'll be it for today. And then next week, we'll probably start back into some more Slenderverse stuff. I'll have to pick whatever the next one's going to be. I mean, you guys can even talk about it if there's a specific one you want me to specifically jump into. We've done Everyman Hybrid. We've done Marble Hornets. We're not doing Tribe 12 because apparently there's controversy with that one, and I don't want to touch controversy in case it brings bad juju. But there are other ones, so let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Atmospheric, very apt breakdown. Yes, it was. I completely agree. Decoding. Hey, Nate, the ARG is getting better. I hope you check it out. Getting interesting. Good. An orange then. Still don't have an orange. An egg. Okay, well, great. In which case, maybe at one point we'll do raw egg. Doing like a shot. I'm not gonna eat like an egg whole. Not with the shell and stuff. I'm gonna, I'll break it into like a little shot glass and drink it or something. Yeah. Compile the compiler. Terry Davis 2010. Compile the compiler, Terry Davis 2010. Let me have a look. Compile the compiler. Terry Davis. May have tapped out. Talking compilers and linkers. 552 Temple operating system. Why did Terry Davis create Holy C if he was trying to avoid C compilers? Interesting. Getting into some interesting, very nerdy topics there. That's cool. Your pick is Dark Harvest 00. Excellent series. Okay. Well, that's good. I like the sound of that. Okay. I think Ren's made our decision for us. It's good because I know there's a couple. I also know there's like some of the funny ones as well. Like I remember Jordan was telling me Marble Bumblebees, I think it was. Sounds really funny. But yeah, we could probably look at Dark Harvest. I don't know Dark Harvest, so sounds good to me. Like the sound of that. We'll probably start that next Friday then. Fantastic stuff. There's even a second account, including the ARG. Fantastic Hell in the Woods. Fantastic. Well, yet again, I will end up making a video on a Twitter story because it's a Twitter story, and that's a big part of my channel. But, you keep it coming. You keep it coming. Just keep me updated. Simple as that. Let me know when you're kind of in a good enough stage for a story to be made. Because, yet again, don't want to do a video on something that isn't really ready for it. That just... Nobody likes that. I've done that before. Nobody liked it. They were like, no, we want the whole thing. And I'm like, right, okay, fair enough. Yeah. Awesome. So next week we start Dark Harvest 00.
Okay. I've seen a bit of that one.
I have seen none of it, so, sounds good to me. Right. We're jumping back in.
Cool. Well, then we're going to click on What Happened to Sally.
We're going to go to What Happened to Sally.
We've got a lot of text to read. And
That's okay.
I'll try to read all of it.
Oh, okay.
But,
here, do you want the mouse then, so you have
sure.
control over how you're doing it?
I guess like the only context to add into this before we go in is that along with the Sunsetters music, I've also been writing music for a different fictional band by the name of Coasts. Coesttts. Just Coast, but spelled funny. And That's where Sally Death comes from, because I wanted there to be context for why No Entry has a different guitarist, but I haven't finished any of the albums for Ghost yet, although I've got some of them very close. Well, except for, well, but anyway, so that's that. So, this is a magazine interview, well, you'll see, but headline Sunsetters on Sally Death and the Glitch album. A strange period in a strange career. These are excerpts from the under-the-radar web-exclusive interview with Deegan Allen and Elsie Carr, 2015. The purpose of the interview was to promote an upcoming album, but also to reflect on the band's career, and the 10-year anniversary of No Entry, an album with a strange recording history that the band had never to this point disclosed. And for the interviewer, we've got Dirk Rossmann, which that's a pun, because there's a German Dirk Rossmann is the tall man. It's the Slender Man, basically.
Ah, I see.
It's a silly name that Lindsay and I have both loved for a while. We wanted to do something with it, so I threw it into here.
That's good. It's clever.
So, No Entry wasn't recorded at your usual studio. You normally record in Atlanta, but suddenly you guys were in the UK. How did that come about? Had you always wanted to record somewhere with more history, or... And we got Deegan and we got Elsie here. So, Deegan. Yeah, that was something the label arranged for us. We were interested in history, of course, and we'd heard of the Gothic Egg before. The Gothic Egg being the recording studio where they recorded at No Entry. The other albums, everything else has been recorded at Egg Rock Studio. But they're both called Egg. I've got some plans for why, but whatever. Gothic Egg.
Dr. Eggman. Got it.
We'd heard of the Gothic Egg before. Some huge names recorded there back in the 60s, 70s. Elsie. And Coase had been there. Deegan. Yeah, no, exactly. I think the Gothic Egg had already been shut down before that. No one had recorded music there since like 1976 or something. And when Coase recorded there, B&B Records, who Sunsetters are on.
Blind Man Books,
yeah. B&B had to get all the systems set up. Elsie. Wake the Slumbering Beast. Deegan. That was in the 90s. And interviewer. Sorry, what's that? The Slumbering Beast. Was that the Coase album? Deegan. No, the album they did went by a different name. Elsie. I was being poetic. B&B had to fire up this equipment, a lot of which hadn't been touched in 20 years. Old equipment, big archaic computers, and vintage sound recording hardware. I'm gonna stop giving the names.
Yeah, all right.
You look wistful. Was that old equipment still there when you guys recorded a decade later? Do you miss it? Sure. It was all this old tech. I got to play with production and I guess connect with the old school ways of production. No Entry had a vastly different production than what we were used to. Elsie had her work cut out for her. I was on cloud 9. I later got my own personal Varsis because I loved working with it so much. You used that in your solo album, didn't you? Used the shit out of it, yeah. Speaking of Coase, actually, so No Entry was the album you recorded with Sally Death. How did that come about? Was this something you've been talking with her about, or did B&B point you her way? What was it like working with her? Yeah, so we, all of us, every one of us, have been fans of Coase for years. Their synergy as a band, their interest in concept, and of course their freedom to make the kinds of albums they wanted. These were things we admired. When we were first becoming a band, Coase was one of our role models. And that's what led us to B&B. We wanted to be on Coase label. We hoped to get that same kind of freedom. Obviously that worked out. Well, summer sucks. We're incredibly privileged. The things B&B has done for us, the things B&B does for all of its bands, is humbling. Revel Yellow are doing a movie now, did you hear? And Arkengard's the newest act to sign on, I think. And I know they're already making this complex kind of album. Yeah, but Sally. So I'm the one who's responsible for that. After we excavate, we did Railroad, of course, and that was obviously a much shorter kind of thing. So while Paul and Finn were talking about what we do next, some of us started branching out, doing extra work on the side. Is that what happened with Remy around that time? Remy. No, Remy saw that we were finally done with the insane workload of the last 3 years, and he took a good look at himself and wondered if we really wanted more of this. He took some time off from the band. He needed it. That was part of the impetus for me, as what I ended up doing was, BIH, Blazes Eye Horton Incorporated, asked me if I wanted to do some guitar instructional videos, and of course I was honored. I grew up with those VHSs. One thing led to another, and I'm suddenly going to these damn seminars for famous but not mega famous guitarists, wondering if I got wrapped up in a pyramid scheme. It was at one of those that I met Ridley, Sally, I mean. She was standing off to the side, not mingling with everyone else. I think she had a similar story to me. She expected to do some instructional videos. Maybe BIH really was going to have us do them. But Ridley and I got to talking, and rather than stick around, she actually wanted to come and meet the rest of the band. She was aware of us. She was clearly familiar with our albums. We were all flattered. Still can't believe it. Ridley was kind, patient. She was used to working differently, though, and we did have some conflict about that. She had to get used to our chemistry, but even towards the end of recording with her, she was starting to feel like she belonged with us. That's getting ahead a little. She didn't actually want to make anything at first. She was clearly still affected by what happened with Kos. And by that point, all we knew was the band had broken up. We imagined it was emotional, bad enough to still bother her even several years later, but she definitely missed playing music, and we invited her to hang with us, jam a little, and that was all it took. She loved it. She warmed up, felt safe with us, and then within a couple of weeks, she was participating in our band meetings, planning the next album with us, and that was that. She was officially in the band. So the label didn't have anything to do with it. No. Well, I mean, most of the label's communication with us was through Jack Allman, the producer for the albums. And Jack has always been like the sixth member of Sunsetters to us. Back in those days, he did our mastering for us, back when I didn't have as much experience with that. But he also has always taken an interest in the concepts we cover. He seems to understand what we're going for, to the point where he'll give us creative input, and we'll find it's exactly what we're looking for. What do you mean? Can you give an example? Long pause. Elsie looks at Deegan. Well, he gave us the name. No entry in the album art. That's right. That album art is iconic. Did Jack make it himself then? I don't know anything about that. Sorry. I think Elsie just reminded me of something wrong. It's fine. I'm sorry. I'm so terrible at these interviews. What was the question? Did the label have anything to do with Sally Death's role in your band? No, the label, that is Jack, brought us to Gothic Egg Studio and suggested the album title after we told him the concept we'd come up with. And he provided the art for us. It was designed in-house, I think. Someone on the label. It was an old piece, actually. But Sally was here on Deegan's request. So, Gothic Egg Studio. What was it like recording in such an old building? Did it change the course of the album? How different do you think No Entry would have been if you'd made it in egg rock like the rest? So there's really no recording studio I'm aware of that's anything like the Gothic Egg. It's in the middle of the city, but you can't see it from the road as they built that park around it, and the park is manned 24/7 by security. It was a military base, wasn't it? Over 60 years ago, yeah. I don't know the full story of who currently owns the compound, but they kept the security, and before we even went in, we had to sign these waivers, so we knew exactly what we were in for. What were you in for? Total isolation. We weren't to have any contact with the outside world as long as we were stationed there. And that's the terminology they used. We were stationed there. At most, we could talk to Jack Allman. We had this old red phone. I wouldn't be surprised if the Prime Minister personally routed our calls to BMB Records. Ah, yeah, that's consistent with what other bands have said. Gothic Egg Studio is something of an experience. We had heard. We were okay with the isolation. When Jack first proposed setting us there for the next album, it made sense to us, as even by then we had this theme of isolation we wanted to explore. I think that's why he suggested it. I think. Yeah, I'd say the choice of studio greatly enhanced the album. We had no distractions as we were living there, just focused on the music. I hated living there. Oh yeah, you had an awful time. Your room had such cold brick, cobwebs, and you were positioned next to that big machine, weren't you? It was constantly running, chugging, clanking, humming. I don't think we ever figured out what it was for. My room was alright. I was up in something like a tower, or it felt like one anyway. I had a window and I got to see the pigeons perch. It got cold up there, but that got me up early. And we weren't there for too long, maybe about 3 months. At the time it felt like forever, but yeah, looking back it wasn't so bad. What was your average day like? We'd all be up by 9, some of us earlier than others, have a coffee, take turns in the shower, then band meeting at 10. We'd go over the current state of the album, where each song was at, have some warm-ups around 10:30, play through the material, identify what could be worked on, do a little tinkering. Then we'd have a lunch around noon and spend the afternoon getting to work, usually splitting off into groups. 5 p.m. was when we'd stop, have some dinner, and then the evenings were free. We were quite consistent. We'd learned a lot making our first albums. I think our regimen was most strange for Sally. She preferred to just come up with a song on her own and present it to us. That's right, and Follow Me Down to the Brink was one of those. All it needed was your synth, but at core it was a Sally piece. But as she grew accustomed to our chemistry, she started really pitching in. I know I liked partnering up with her. She's experienced with a keyboard as well. She had an ear for chords, and she had that killer mellotron, which made the chords boom. I was able to talk her into doing a keyboard duet with me at one point. Did that happen in the album? Being watched. Oh, good. And the last thing we did was Best Regards, by which point she had her own synergy with us. She's really a stellar guitarist, a composer I have the utmost admiration for, and it was an honor to work by her side. Well, no, I think we recorded Prophetic to the Blind last, didn't we? Once we had the album figured out, we wanted an introductory song. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. And what about the challenges? Was there anything about No Entry that you guys found to be a serious challenge? Well, Best Regards is a pretty complex song, and that did take us a while to figure out, even working as a proper team. I know you, Elsie, also pushed yourself to do more with keyboards this time around. That's right. The Boy in the Lighthouse was something of a personal project of mine. And at first I was just doing it on my own. I was thinking of doing a solo album, but once we'd been in the Gothic Egg for about a month, I realized the concept meshed with what we were doing, as it was all about isolation. After I brought it to the rest of the band, Finn and Paul together came with that technical rhythm, the 5/4. No, it's in 4, but the notes are all quintuplets, so in practice it's a 5. That was based on the melody I composed, but they took that idea and ran with it, of course. Elsie, you said you stayed in a sort of tower looking out a window. Was that the inspiration for the song? That's right. The Gothic Egg had a lot of memorable architecture. It had the watchtower, there was a courtyard in the dead center of these old walls. I mean, the rooms inside were a mixture of old brick and newer brutal steel. So some of the rooms were like a castle, and some of the rooms were smooth modern rectangle. Our recording space was at the end of this long corridor. And the thing is, there were no other doors in that corridor. No. The recording hallway had other doors. Remember? They led to little closets, which we used to record individual instruments. Really? Oh, yeah, right. It was the other corridor that had no doors. The hole, that's what Finn called it. It's alright. We never found out what it was for anyway. There's this trap door in the courtyard that leads to this long, dark hallway. And I mean, it was particularly long. A car could drive at good speeds down there. And there's nothing down there at all, except for a rusty bronze door at the very end. We couldn't get it open. We weren't supposed to. We were there to record. It sounds like this experience took its toll, at least on some people. Staying there in that foreign old building for so long, cut off from the world. Do you think that's why Sally ultimately left? I don't know about that. The Gothic Egg is a strange location for sure, but there was a lot that she wasn't telling us at the time. I think she was surrounded by memories. Coast recorded their last album in the Gothic Egg, after all. It was their last album? I knew they recorded there, but I thought that was De Profundis, the previous album. I think De Profundis was Gothic Egg too, yeah. And you can really hear it in that album. The stark reverb, the empty spaces. De Profundis has this cold, impersonal vibe to it. But you're saying they recorded their last one there too. You mean the last one? The one that was never released? Yeah, like, I remember being a fan at the time. All we knew was they were recording. We didn't know where. Coast had always been a pretty underground band, and there was no journalism for them in those days. But Sally told us. I don't think she meant to. She didn't like to talk about it. It was inevitable, though. She ended up having to go back to that studio. Back to that building. Of course she was going to let it slip. Did she say anything else about what happened? We could piece some things together. She definitely wasn't happy about the choice of studio. She was cold around Jack, and well, she left before Jack provided us with the album cover, but I don't think she'd have approved in hindsight. Should we be talking about that? About any of this? What are you saying? That Coast broke up due to corporate meddling? That your album art was what Coast was going to go with? No, it's not that. It's stranger. Deegan. The interview pauses here. There's some discussion. Elsie Carr leaves the interview. Deegan Allen remains. Is she going to be okay? Yeah. This is a subject we've had to talk about it as a band, and we all have our opinions on it, but enough time has passed that I'm willing to talk about it. It's particularly hard for her. See, the thing is... Where do I start? After Sally left the band, we went back to the Gothic Egg, yeah? When Remy returned. He had had his break, and we were short a guitarist, and he was committed to our art again, and we were happy to have him back. We were starting to plan out 8 Colors then, the 5th album, which isn't out yet. But first we wanted to do an EP, and Remy had all this material he'd been working on for years, so we were doing Ancestor, and we kind of all decided, maybe we could go back to the Gothic Egg. I know I wanted Remy to get to experience that. I didn't want him to miss out. We figured it was unlikely, and as the Gothic Egg is a pretty serious thing, but surprisingly Jack got back to us with the okay, and in late 2005 we went back. You say you did Ancestor without Sally Death? Wasn't her guitar on there? No, that was Remy. Well, actually, no. We found Sally's guitar at the Gothic Egg. I think Remy recorded a part of the EP on that. And that's the part, pretty much the end of The Drought. There's a different guitar sound font, which, yeah. We only spent about a month there this time, as the material was much shorter, and Remy had already composed a good chunk of it over the years. This proved to be a good thing, as we went there in the cold of winter, and heating was a problem. Plus the stark architecture provided a vessel for some strong winds. It was noisy. And I guess a lot creepier this time. Got dark a lot sooner. And one day, towards the end of our stay, we noticed the trap door in the courtyard was wide open. I don't know which one of us went digging around down there, as we weren't supposed to. Elsie was right about that, but everyone claimed they'd never opened it, and I know I didn't open it. But as long as it was open, Finn talked Remy into going down there and seeing the hole for himself, and I came along too. The door at the other end was open now. What was inside? What did it lead to? Didn't really want to know. It was almost definitely some kind of ancient military secret or something, but it was just a small room, 9 foot by 9, with a small barred window into darkness. Sounds like a prison cell. Oh, wait. It wasn't just darkness. There was a light out the window. Underground? Yeah, I'm certain. But we didn't stick around. We closed the door behind us and went back up. Met up with Elsie and Paul, and we found the computer. It was in the space where we had our band meetings. None of us had seen it before. I know at first I thought one of those two had just put it up there. But it really doesn't make sense. I think the computer came from that room in the hole. So someone moved it into your space from the hole? Was someone else there? I don't know. But it's what was on the computer. When Elsie got it working, she identified it as being from 1998 and had nothing out of the ordinary for us. It had been used to edit music. And there, in a folder named after a date, was a load of files, isolated stems, drafts, fragments, works in progress, and 11 numbered files. We clicked on one, track 5, and gave it a listen. It was Coase. It took a few more tracks to be absolutely sure. It wasn't quite their style. Much more keyboard heavy, almost an electronic album. But Coase were hardly ones to stick to a single style anyway. But that was Baldvino's bass, for sure, and that was Leanna's drumming, and that was Sally Death on Mellotron. Then we heard Steve Carpenter's voice on some of the tracks, and that sealed it. This was an album without much singing, with more emphasis on poetry, with Steve reading, just like on previous albums. He found the missing Coase album. We heard it, and it sounded like it was pretty much complete. At first, we were geeking out. This was rock music history to us. And some of those tracks, let me tell you, they sounded killer. Some of their strongest material. Such a shame. But after a while, as we heard more and more of the album, especially once we started listening in order, we started to get weirded out. There was something wrong. Maybe it was just the sense that we weren't supposed to be listening to this. But I swear, some of those songs had a mood to them. All the instruments were overpowered by this blanket of noise. And compared to the Mellotron, the other instruments didn't show up that much. And when they did, it was a pretty repetitive drum and bass. Like Sally had to do half the album by herself. And then What? Maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but it's so vivid in my memory. I remember the end of the album. I remember it was no more Steve Carpenter. Instead, someone else started singing and speaking. Not Baldvino? I know she was the usual singer. No, it sounded like Elsie. Yeah, I remember that. Because that's what upset Elsie at the time. She turned pale and went off to another room and had to calm down. Because it really did sound just like her. Singing some weird things like she was getting ready to die. In that poem. It couldn't have actually been her, though. No, it couldn't. In 1998, she was at Georgia State with us. And anyway, this sounded like her in 2005. That's why she didn't want to talk about this. You want to know what the album was called? The numbered files had an album cover attached. It was our album cover, but all glitched up. The title was still readable. No entry. When we finished Ancestor, we left that computer to be dealt with by whoever's responsible, and we never went back to that place again. I don't believe in the supernatural, but I believe in coincidences, and I believe coincidences will keep happening at that place. We don't need to know. Did you ever get in contact with Sally again after this? Did you bring any of this up? No. Did the label make you sign an NDA? What? No, the label has been characteristically free about all this. I couldn't contact Sally, what with the court case. Court case? You don't know? I thought you were just being coy. You don't know what happened with Sally? No. Well, a few weeks after she left the band and we released No Entry, certain allegations became known to legal authorities. See, the members of Coase were murdered during the recording of their last album. All of them except Sally. Oh. So naturally, the suspicion was that Sally was responsible. You don't think she was? No, I can't believe it. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to believe it. Then who do you think did it? It's happened in Gothic Egg Studio, right? There's the policy of total isolation. There's still possibilities. Why would it be Sally? Why would she do it? Sure, and you spent 3 months with her in isolation, so you wouldn't want to think she was capable of that. I mean, yeah. But her behavior makes just as much sense if she didn't do it. Her bandmates died in that building. She wouldn't want to go back there. And we gave her constant reminders of it, like the title. That came about 2 months in. We sent Jack our current progress and the concept so far, and Jack gave us some thought and said he didn't think our proposed album title was good enough. We were going with Cherry Bomb. He suggested No Entry. And Sally clammed up, because of the album none of us knew about. And here's a question for you. Why would BMB keep her on the label if she did it?
Excellent question.
And then there's No Entry.
Oh my god, the Coase version.
The Glitch album.
Oh, wow.
So, first of all, how was that story?
It was, it got pretty interesting. It makes me really curious about what the fuck happened at Gothic Egg. That's really interesting. But yeah, no, he makes some excellent questions. The fact that why would they keep her on if she was a murderer? And she went back. There's so many things that it just really makes you think about. That's really you know what? That was good. That was real good.
Thank you.
Wow.
I've been working on this album for a couple of years, and I had the story in mind before I actually had the album, but I hadn't written down the story until after I made the album, because I didn't want to commit to it unless the album was done. But like, okay, I wanted to do more with the context. The context, like, this whole project, the potential of this project is it can have some really cool context to it. It can feel different. An album can feel different if you know the context first. And I wanted to try that, especially with something a bit weirder, a lot less grounded in reality, but still kind of realistic.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's going to be like no lore in between these. This experience was, I wanted the lore to all come first, and then so you're left with like, holy shit, but I can actually listen to the album too. Like, what's it going to sound like? And we'll be watching on YouTube because there'll be some lyrics here and there.
Okay.
And this is technically my first solo album. I made this one without Lindsay.
Wow.
Because it's Coast, and Lindsay's done enough. And I wanted to, if I wanted to do something crazy, then I wanted to be responsible for it.
Okay. Let's listen to Coast's album, where they disappeared at Gothic Egg. Well, they died.
This is what the Sunsetters would have heard on that computer.
Well, they only heard track 5.
Well, they started with track 5, then listened
in
order.
Listened to the rest of it, right?
Yeah. Song 2 is Gothic Egg.
The Ghosts went to Gothic Egg before,
Yeah.
and they were making the album No Entry.
Yeah.
Then the members died except for Sally.
Yep.
Why was Jack so adamant on the Sunsetters making No Entry when it's not even exactly the same album?
I'm not going to comment on that.
It's certainly strange. Certainly very strange. Jack is a weird one. It'd be one thing if, like, all the songs were basically just a Sunsetters version of the same thing, right? But they're not.
No, it's not.
But does this one also pertain to, like, the Slender Man?
I could answer that, but I want this to be context free.
That sounds familiar, though.
I mean, you have heard the song.
Not the bass line. But this is Coasts.
Yeah. I showed you this song.
Oh, that
Midnight was pallid. The rooftops out there, beyond bedroom window, stood watchful and bare. I answered the call of a night letter tall. I came to the king's palace fair. Before it, a garden of orchids in bloom, overlooked by guests, servants, shadowed by plume, reminded me of the royal colors, red, white, and green, and all they imply, all that they mean. I was ushered inside before I could pair an omen from Gaia, and into the lair of marble I ventured. Imperial hall, I came to the king's palace fair. I signed a paper, I took a job, I gave my assent to great King Mob. He gave me a room, 9 foot by 9. I'm asked to think, I'm asked to assign a name for everything in all time. And I'm told there's many worlds beyond just mine. I'm also to name every strange sound I hear, whether it's out in the halls or alarmingly near. It's midnight still outside my room. I'm alone in here, or so I assume. It's always midnight, which can't be right. This gothic egg will be my doom.
many songs. That's fine.
It's
up to you.
okay. No, just trying to figure out what that sounded very much like. 'Cause it definitely sounded like a song on one of the other albums.
If it does, I don't think it's intentional. I can't remember myself.
Take a quick 5 there if you want. Sure. But I am certainly curious to see if this album is going to maybe give us a little bit of information about what happened.
I mean, I guess explicitly, no. It's the kind of thing where it's going to be open to interpretation.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's fair enough.
It will, it may give some ideas, and it may not. Truthfully, I do intend on expanding on this plot as story goes on. But like, like in a way, like this Glitch album is like if you see this whole website release of these like 4 albums and 2 EPs as like if you see this as like the start of the main story, then this is like a little to be continued of like okay, you've gotten familiar with the style that we're going for and the kind of music, but now here's a quick little we're going to show like the story. This format could change, and the story could go down some different paths.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like the end of Act 1. That suddenly things are warming up a lot, I guess. But, and this album is a lot of vibes, and it's also just me combining sheet music with audio processing. So I've been teaching myself about how to make the MIDI sound different and sound a bit more polished. But there is there will be a bit more lore to this, I guess.
I mean, that's fair enough if you don't have it fully fleshed out yet. I mean, that makes sense. And yet again, it's also levels of it be interpretation, or yet again might not be revealed yet. Things like that. It's fair enough. I just felt like there might be some like little tidbits within the album itself, because I think that'd be a great place to have something, even like maybe during a recording part at one point, maybe that's when somebody comes in and they start killing people. I don't know. I suppose it depends on what actually happened, right, and how it all works out and stuff.
I mean, like there are in many ways, this album does imply further details that weren't mentioned in the interview. Like, like at the end of the day, this is the music by itself. It just sounds like an album.
Yeah.
So that which implies that someone finished the album. Someone put it in a state where, because they may have recorded somebody getting killed, but they would have cut that and removed it from the album.
No, I mean, of course, of course.
But then, like, it raises the question, like, who finished this? Why did they finish it?
And then why did they put it on a computer and hide it away?
Yeah.
And then why was it randomly brought out for the Sunsetter to find?
Exactly.
I suppose maybe it's because they were also working on No Entry. Maybe that's why, for some reason, they were given access to it. Somebody obviously put it there. Yet again, nobody has any idea what's going on with that. It's I'm loving the mystery. I'm loving the bizarreness. I'm loving the like it's not a typical murder mystery, because it's not just like, oh wow, yes, murders happened in this place, and then the police came and now everything had to be shut down and they got rid of the album, blah blah blah. No, there's more mystery, and it's also just strange about the fact that like they were in total isolation, supposedly, based on what we're meant to understand about the Gothic Egg rules and everything. And the fact that Sally was the only one who didn't die, she gets to leave. Her band members were killed there, at least to our understanding, based on the interview. But it's not like it tells us exactly how they died or what happened to the bodies or anything like that. Because you think, if anything, they would have all known that the band had died. They didn't just break up; they died, right? It's weird that they made it seem like nobody really knew that the other members died.
Yeah, well, like, I imagine that, like, and I say I imagine because I haven't written the rest of this, but like I imagine like the record company knows that members of Coast have died, and they're the ones who,
of course, I would imagine they would know,
they're the ones who allowed Sally to leave.
Yeah. But then they also maybe buried the album on the computer. I mean, I'm assuming at this point that it was them. It might, who knows? Because yet again, that's where the mystery continues, especially with the fact that Jack is also a suspicious as fuck dude. But I don't know if he would have been there back in 1998, especially with Coast, because they would have been part of they would have had a different, I suppose, record label at the time.
Yeah, that part isn't explicitly stated.
No, it's great. The fact that like there's so many layers to it, and all of a sudden we've entered this really bizarre mystery that, when you really like start dissecting it, you're like, actually, yeah, this is interesting. This is strange. This really makes you want to find what information you can. But yet again, the information might not be here yet. But that's the best part of a mystery, right? It's like you still get to hunt for it anyway.
Then there's one more detail that I want to make explicit.
Okay.
I've mentioned it in the interview that like they found like the hole, that long corridor which led to a room, which.
It led to the bronze door they couldn't open.
Yeah, although when they found the album, like, that door was open, and inside they found a small room, 9 foot by 9, with a bed.
That's right.
But,
that's right.
There's like two different things I want to bring up here. One, that kind of, I'm kind of going for the implication that that's where someone else will have been staying.
Well, of course, we heard it in the song.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like it was brought up in the song, which, but the interview also implies that this male voice we're hearing, which is me, but in the story, this is Stephen Carpenter. Like
he's doing his poetry readings.
Yeah, one of the members of Coast. But that also, like, is it just a coincidence that it's about a room that's 9 foot by 9, or did they find the hole? I imagine they did, and it inspired them to write something.
I mean, yet again, he made it sound like he was sleeping in that room, which yet again makes sense with the fact there was a bed in that room and everything. But he also made it seem like he was put in there with specific instructions. Yet again, I mean, it could just be creative interpretation of the song, but it does sound like he was kind of telling us some bits of what actually happened to him.
Yeah, like, it's an open question as to whether that was just a cool creative story they came up with inspired by finding the room, or if there's something more truthful to it. Yeah. I wanted that there were supposed to be the two possibilities.
No, I would definitely say those are for sure the possibilities. Which yet again just raises more questions. It's incredibly interesting. This is because it'd be one thing if it's like, oh wow, Sally went crazy and she killed the rest of her band members, and then all this other stuff happened. But then at least you knew for sure it was Sally who did it. But then she also gets to get away with it, and she also gets to continue performing with other bands and doing her thing, and the record label just, I guess makes everything go away. That's already a weird story in and of itself, in which case it's surprising that she then, when returning to Gothic Egg, didn't kill other people.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
Weird, really interesting. But then that makes you wonder, well, she mustn't have killed them then. Because otherwise you think if a killer returns to the scene of a crime, where she has the perfect alibi to get away with it yet a fucking again, and she doesn't do it.
Although I will throw out this... I just remember, like, I do have... There's two main possibilities for this plot that I'm kind of laying down here. One possibility is it's all this ambiguity, we don't know. But the other if you wanted to believe that it was Sally, that Sally had killed her band members, then the record label bringing her back to Gothic Egg and making the album called No Entry, it could be like them like pushing guilt onto her, like trying to get her to crack, trying to be like, hey, you remember what you did? We know what you did.
Yeah, but I feel like this was Jack's doing.
True.
For some reason, Jack was the super forceful one to be like, this is the stuff you're going to use. And that's why, for me, Jack is the enigmatic piece that makes the most sense in this puzzle as to solving it. Because clearly he knew about the album artwork. Yeah, it's not exactly the same, but it's similar enough. He also knew of the name, and he made sure they used it. Which, yet again, if he had no idea about Coast and all their history... This would have been this would have been the most insane fluke to pull off. He must have known something.
Although, one possibility, just throwing this out there, that a completely innocent possibility, which is already unlikely because everything's so mysterious and suspicious. But let's just say that Jack Allman is innocent in all this and didn't even know necessarily that everybody died before. But he could be reusing the album art and the title because it's
where would he have got him from then?
Well, they were like in house. It was the record label had the. But my point is, like,
why would they have had it if the album was ever released and it was only put on the PC?
Well, because like they will have the thing I'm trying to propose is that, and even that it's just an interpretation and not necessarily one I'm going to go with. But
yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Like the idea is like. They thought it was a good idea back then of like, oh, this is cool art. We made this cool art for this album that never came out, and No Entry is a cool name, and that never happened. But we still got this, and these guys need an album. Why don't we give them this material? Like, hey, it's already made for you. It's still a cool name. We would love to see an album with this name.
It would. It's just hella fishy.
It is a very big coincidence. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything, that name, that album art, everything about it should be taboo. Even Jack, being an innocent person, would know probably shouldn't use that.
Yeah.
Might trigger Sally with the fact that her fucking bandmates died making that album.
True.
And yet, still brought it up and made them use it.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe that Jack is suspicious in this.
Although, to be fair, I mean, I remember them saying, I think Sally left before she found out that they were using these ones.
She left before, I think before the art. Like, she finished the music, And I think around the end of it, she found out it was going to be called No Entry. And I imagine, like, just the name No Entry could have been a coincidence, but she was getting weirded out, and so she was like, I'll finish the job, and then I'm going home.
Right. So, okay.
And then after that, Jack brought the album art, which is like, there's no more coincidence anymore.
No, in which case, it definitely feels like Jack was pushing some kind of an agenda. Interesting. Really interesting. Read the chat. I'm trying, Flowers, but there's a fair bit of stuff that we don't exactly need to read. And, because some things are just like, sound like my alarm sound. Real demo tapes vibes, love it. I mean, that's true. It does have some great vibes. I've got to completely agree with Ren. How long is a song, which we did answer at the time.
Yeah, that was 4 minutes.
And then, just kind of caught up to you guys there. Getting juicy. I agree, Ren. This is definitely piquing a lot of interest. But I mean, that's the beauty of bringing in any kind of a mystery to a project, isn't it? It's like, well, now you want to know more, right? Jack is the main character in ARG, same Jordan, the HITW one.
That's
correct.
True. Yep.
Yeah,
his name is Jack.
That's right. His name is and maybe was Jack. Depends on if he dies. Spoingus, hi, welcome to chat. Jack Almond. It's Jack Almond.
Allman.
But could it sound like Almond? Almond would be. You know what? Maybe that's like his evil persona. That'd be a really funny reveal. He reveals, I'm Jack Almond, and everybody's like, it sounds the same. You're saying the same name. Like, it's not really a reveal. Very funny. Okay. I think we're ready for a little bit more music.
Okay, and just one last thing I want to mention. On the subject of the music, anyway. One of the vibes that I was going for, the whole plan of having this sudden entire album with all this context and that stuff. So we've gotten used to a specific sound of like pure MIDI, and then suddenly we have this, which is still rooted in MIDI, but it's heavily edited. It sounds a bit more like, I guess, real music, like a real electronic album.
Okay.
But like something I'm going for with that, it's this notion that like if MIDI music if what we hear as MIDI music just sounds like regular rock to the Sunsetters in their universe, then there's this implication like this sounds like something entirely different. Like this is something a lot more alien, a lot stranger. This is a very jarring thing for them. But just one of the things that I had in mind.
I suppose so.
Anyway, yeah, we can continue.
Let's carry on with the album. Air.
I leave you. I have things to do.
In your kitchen?
Yes.
What? I'd like to know.
I look at the wall.
The wall. What do you see on your wall? Many naked bodies.
I see my light dying.
Your light dying. Listen to that. Well, it can die just as well here. Your light. Take a look at me and come back and tell me what you think of your light.
You shouldn't speak to me like that.
was some murdering, Newberry. You missed something.
I thought we were left after that.
After the murder plot?
Yeah, I don't remember. I thought we left like from Gothic Agriculture.
This is the mysterious album that disappeared.
This was track 5. This is the first one to Sunrise. The one that felt like a banger.
dreams, I am alone. The mobster on the diner throne. Whether he knows or don't, Gray sky, dark sky, tinged with noise of distant movement, mankind's toys, in constant circles, push and pull. Blue paper clips till Aleph Knoll. Darkened skies with smothering joys. I touch the window and count the days. I'm too much a widow, a fountain glazed, and rhyme a dozen, ear and eye, time unloving, tears are dry, stifling nothing, stimuli. Just a boy against the toys. Just a girl against the world. Fireworks in my head. Refill the glass. Empty house. Fireworks in my head. Stifling nothing. Stimuli. Fireworks in my head. I am alone. Tell me all. I give you none. I thought I knew, but no, I don't. Guns don't hurt me. Al Capone. Every thought's a dial tone. In my dreams, I am alone.
You are broken.
The Marble Hornets reference.
Oh, yeah. Or a Five Nights at Freddy's reference. You're broken, I will put you back together. Get XP from hanging out, chatting, donating, all kinds.
Anyways, while the Sunsetter's no entry was Alex Crayley coded, this one is To the Art coded.
Makes sense.
silence.
Yeah, Coast definitely have a very, very different vibe compared to Sunsetters. I do kind of like the weird. Well, Steve's just bizarre, kind of quiet, talking, monologue-y moments instead of like regular singing. I do find that breakup to be kind of just it weirdly works. It weirdly works really, really well, especially with the kind of music that's being played. It's interesting. It's interesting to see you've made two different fake bands in different genres with completely different stories.
And the thing is, like Coast's early albums are actually a lot like Sunsetters. They started off like, in terms of me creating them. I just wanted them to be like more Sunsetters, basically. but I had it in mind that like they took place before the Sunsetters, and whatever happened to them, they broke up before the Sunsetters did.
Well, they died.
Well,
They died.
When I started this story, I didn't have that in mind.
Right, yeah, but I mean, they broke up because they died.
But like, I also used Coast to explore more like other styles that I was interested in exploring, mainly like experimental electronic stuff. And then when it came to when we were making No Entry of the Sunsetters one, first the plan was for the Sunsetters No Entry to actually sound a lot more like this. But for one thing, we didn't really know how to do that at the time. But also, like, we ended up just writing this stuff normally, and we were like, this is actually a perfectly good album. Let's just scrap the electronic stuff. But then I suddenly hit some songs. I was like, wait, I've got some electronic songs here that are really good. So I think let's throw this into the mix somehow. Like, somehow make this still No Entry, but so like I would listen to these songs, mainly like Gothic Egg and I Thought You Were Dead and Caution. I would listen to these and think like, I kind of just got this idea of the lore for this, but but anyway, so the idea is that Coast starts off as just a rock band like Sunsetters, but they gradually become more and more like electronic, and this is like the end point of that. But it was never released. I'm getting sleepy, so I'm losing track of where I'm saying with that.
That's all right. That's all right. No, it's certainly quite an interesting vibe. No doubt about that. Let's see. We got some chicken nuggets in the chat. I mean, that's always delicious. You can't go wrong with that. Hell in the Woods. You should watch Milk and Cereal short creepy film. Well, we'll see what the top three decide at the end of the stream. Ren, I loived that more ambient track. Wow, my spelling, LOL. Oh, don't worry, I get it.
Thank you very much.
I loived it too. Alright, should we carry on?
Now, like Belly of the Beast had some Silent Hill influence to it.
Oh, I definitely did get that kind of vibe.
We're new.
Take her.
banger.
The Face of God.
Last two songs now.
faces drawn in dark charcoal in the unbridled mood. The styles of the old masters as they crafted portraits of pale emperors and their cold parliaments. A maze of mass-produced alleyways on paper. Internal monologues are laid bare here in its perfect noir mood that transfixes and memorizes. We all go through the literary machine, spat out with the riddles of consciousness and a wish for productive, profound dreams. Lead balloons, popping from the concrete with poisonous thuds, like a holy demon chrysalis, swallow airtight capsules mid-flight, twisted heartbreak in midnight packages, floating between the abstract and the objective, like holy demon chrysalises unfolding alongside your state of being, bone to ash, hope to sorrow. Your casket unfolds, unravels, inside out with the skin of the midnight black lead balloon.
So that last one was heavily influenced by was some electronic bands that have ended their albums with a very noisy song like that, and I was able to find a really good combination of effects to get music to sound really noisy, and I tweaked it to sound about as pleasant as I could make it while still making it very noisy. And I wanted the album to end on that. I wanted this very ominous and very glitchy. Like this is
it did sound like it kind of like somewhat broke down. It kind of got glitchier as dragged on with the end bit. I thought that was a a nice bizarre end that kind of just really reminds you that there's something wrong, but you don't know what it is. It's very, very, very clever. Very clever motif with that. I know chat actually even had some questions, so we'll catch up with chat real quick.
Yeah.
Does Little Caesar have chicken nuggets? No, they don't. They do sometimes have chicken wings though, and they're all right. Let's see. The module group noiseless. Don't know module group. Do we know about Commodore Amiga? I know about the Commodore Amiga. I also know about the Commodore 64. Haven't interacted with either things, but I know of them.
Yeah, the Amiga was was mainly popular here in Europe. So
yeah,
we are aware of it.
Yeah, we're aware of it, but that doesn't mean we've ever had one or.
But I mean, I kind of get what he's saying. He's kind of saying like this kind of music is like a computer music, like
for sure, yeah.
It's like FM kind of music, and that was a big influence on me. Yeah.
Hell in the Woods says, Jordan, love your songs. Do you have a favorite Sunsetter song, Nate and Jordan? I know for me, I'm definitely heavily leaning towards the first and second albums personally. I don't remember the names of the songs themselves.
I know you liked Is This All and Rise of a Rain. I don't know what you liked particularly in Summer Sucks. I think it's like the whole album.
Quite a lot of Summer Sucks I really liked. I mean, besides the fact that it was an interesting story in and of itself, I really vibed a lot more with the sound. It spoke to me as why, that's a big thing for me. What about you? Do you have a favorite Sunsetter song or album?
Like, this is probably a boring answer, but like I love all of the songs because I've had to listen
Fake
to
them.
Fake
fan.
I've had to listen to them over and over while creating them, and even after creating them, the way that this project works for me is I've got to keep re-listening to these things both as individual songs and also as entire albums because I want to put myself in the mindset of like the fictional listener, of, like what kind of music, what would a fan in this fictional universe think of each album, and would they? I guess like if I had to give some answers, I'm very fond of Lowest Point on We Excavate, particularly the first half of it.
Yeah.
And I'm very fond of Best Regards and No Entry. And actually, also Contract Desk Jockey. No Entry.
What's your least favorite? What is the one song where you're like, actually, I don't think this is very good?
Probably Siren of the Abyss on We Excavate. That was a pretty ambient one. I mean, it was a necessary song. I think it had to be there, but sometimes I kind of wonder if we could have made it a bit more sinister, or just explored a different mood with
Sinister would have been nice for it with the ambience, because you're right. It is very much ambient. It works well with what the album is, but I know what you mean. I think Sinister would have been a nice touch, especially based on the title, Siren of the Abyss. I mean, you feel like there'd be more out of that, right?
Yeah,
I get that.
But also, like, We Excavate that was the last song written for We Excavate, but we couldn't have it be too long because the album was already like 77 minutes, and the thing is, continuing with this, we're pretending that these are real albums thing. A CD can only store about 78 minutes of music, so there's an upper limit for a lot of these albums. In fact, for all of them.
That's why you might get more than one CD, though, right?
Well, yeah, but like I didn't want to make a new CD just for one song.
But then you just have an entire separate album, 2 albums, one, or bonus EP. Some shit.
The album 5 will have bonus EPs. There's a lot of considerations that go into each album because, like this, I don't know.
That's okay. So Blueberry asks, do you have the MIDI file for these songs? Yes. I would imagine he would. I mean, he's made them.
Yes.
He's made the MIDIs. So absolutely he has them. Noiseless or Jogger Lil Jadal beat. Yeah, you mentioned that before. I still don't exactly understand.
Probably it's like different bands that it's.
I'd imagine. Yeah. So that's the vibe I'm going for. Okay. Why does Zero have the same unit code as? I'm not sure what that is. Ren really adores this album. Excellent. Heart for the Noise. Hell in the Wood says I like Summer Sucks. Also calls you a fake fan. I think it's funny. Hell also wants to know, are chicken nuggets at space? Do you mean in space? No. We would have to put them there. They don't just exist wherever, life is. I mean, it's yet again an arguable point about what is life in space. But, we're here to talk about sunsetters, okay? We can talk about crazy scientific theories and conspiracy shit on another one. We're talking about sunsetters here, okay? So no, there's no chicken nuggets in space. Unless we put them there. Fleshborn, hello Jello. Hi, welcome to chat. It's good to see you. Mommy Dommy says yes. Blueberry also says yes. Everybody apparently thinks there are chicken nuggets at space. Congratulations, guys. We are certainly entering our brain rot era. That's fantastic news. Fantastic fucking news indeed.
And I had said that I would talk a bit about how these last two songs are made.
Yeah. Tell us some stuff.
So, like Elephant in the Room here, there's a voice in these songs. There's even a voice singing in the Face of God.
The Elsie, right?
Yeah, that voice is Audrey, the superfan Audrey, who I had invited onto this stream.
All right.
Like I said, she hadn't made it for this, but like, I invited her because she wanted to come because she was in this album. But and the poem, the lyrics of The Face of God Loud Hear Us, is a poem titled Midnight Creation, written by Ellie.
Ah, a lot of collaborative efforts going on here. That's very cool. That's very nice. Always a good touch. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. There's specific things that I wanted for these songs. Cause the instrumentals were written long before I vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a sense of what these things needed, and I just asked for. Well, thank you, Gar.
It's great fun every time I record shit.
Like Ellie had written the poem independently, but I asked for permission to use it for this purpose because it's one of my favorite poems of hers.
It works quite well with the music, I gotta say, especially for this bizarre album, this glitchy, strange album that fits into this world.
Yeah, and like I know that I wanted Vanilla Face of God. Like I'm just calling it Vanilla because it's the one without the like. I was always on the fence for a long time about whether they should be one track, but I ultimately wanted to split it because I wanted people to be able to listen to the pretty part or the noisy part if they chose to, but rather than having to skip through or stop the song because they didn't want to hear the noisy part, or whatever. The fundamental.
Take your time, don't worry.
The basis for the whole Face of God piece, it's one piece. The basis is Electric Distant off of the Sunsetter's No Entry. Or I guess by implication it'll be the other way around. The Sunsetter's Electric Distant the chords in that will have come from this.
Right.
I guess by implication Sally provided the chords. But,
I mean that would track. That would make sense.
And I imagine she wasn't thinking of the original album. It's just that she had chords like you kind of get this. When you create music, you just kind of figure like, oh, I like these chords. I'll do them.
And sometimes you might use it multiple times. It might become something that's akin with you, and then other fans and stuff might be like, oh, they love doing this specific chord progression or whatever. Yeah, it's very true. I mean, it's here.
On a meta level, obviously, I wanted there to be some musical connection between the two no entries.
No, I definitely think there should be a connection between the two because obviously there is a strange connection between them, and that's why it does make sense that there are strange connections. I think that absolutely makes a lot of sense to me. Because if they were completely different from each other, that would have been weird.
Yeah. And on that same subject, the lyrics on Gothic Egg mention a king mob. And
yes.
Meanwhile, on the Sunsetter's No Entry, in Best Regards, they mention a king mob.
Yep. I did get that vibe as well. I also thought about King Pig, but I was like, no, it's going to be King Mob most like. Because the pig one was Summer Sucks. If I remember right.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was King Pig, or no, it was
Pig King.
Pig King, that's it. It was so close. It was just the other way around. Let's see what else we have. All of the brain rot. There are chicken nuggets in space. Yes, as everybody keeps saying. Are chicken nuggets in rainbows? A Radiohead reference. Very nice. Very good. That's a nice touch. Ellie says, "I did a thing." You did. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Blueberry says, "Yay." Oh, here's a good question. Hell in the Woods asks, "What made you make the Sunsetters project?" It's okay. It's a complex question, really.
Yeah, and I guess the previous streams have been gradually answering that, but I'm just trying to remember the simple version. I like music, and I didn't know how to write music. I started this project a decade ago. Well,
back when he was 5 years old.
I wrote internet horror fiction at the time, and in that, I was getting increasingly more and more lyrical and more interested in music, and I would reference the bands that I'm a fan of, because I'm also a big fan of a lot of rock music. I get very into it. I have been since I was a teenager. And then for my fictional stories, I'd come up with this fake band called the Sunsetters, and I would just reference some cool song names. I just come up with some cool song names. I came up with Rise for Rain, came up with Lowest Point, and Railroad to Metropolis. They're just names. They're like, oh, I can imagine a song that I like having that name. Because the whole Sunsetters project is just based on.
It's just a bunch of passions that ended up mashing together, really.
Yeah. So when I try to make a Sunsetters song or an album, I'm kind of just tapping into like my dream band here. Like, I'm picturing like, I go to the store, I buy this new CD, and I really love it. Well, what would it be like? And I'm just kind of going with that vibe. So I tap into like my sense as a consumer. I create this stuff with a listener's ear. But the point is, so we had this fictional band. Lindsay was the one who originally said, like, I want to make the whole discography. I'll just take my guitar and I'll start a band and I'm going to make this. And they use this sheet music software called MuseScore to write this stuff. They also didn't understand much about writing music at the time, but they learned that this was an excuse for them to learn. And they would send me the files, and I was the one who noticed, like, wait, there's a play button on this. What happens if I click that? Oh, it's playing MIDI music. Holy crap. And so at the start, that just helped, like, we can have a better sense of what this is going to sound like. But as time went on and the album got further along, the first album, Mythology of Empathy, I kind of realized, like, hey, wait a minute. I love MIDI music. I wouldn't mind if this was just a MIDI thing. It can also be covered by a real band. That I give you full permission to do that, Lindsay, but also anybody, really. But I am interested in just writing for this for the sake of writing it. And I would start writing music myself, and I figured out a lot about it. Like, Summer Sucks helped the most. Like, Summer Sucks was just trial by fire, and figured out a lot about music from that. And then as I was feeling my way through this MIDI music, I was realizing, this is actually, like, if I were to show this to people, this is hard to explain. There's not really many things in the world that are like this. I'm kind of inventing the format myself, because it's already inherently tied to fictional stories. So I can flesh it out. We're dealing with this fictional band called the Sunsetters. It's already been referenced in stories, so that implies that they have their own canon. They have their own. They must have their own backstory. That there must be something to that. So I just felt my way through until eventually I had this sense of, hey, I've got something here. This is a whole thing. Like, Lindsay still writes stuff for it, but is a lot less frequent than I am, because Lindsay has jobs and has a life. But whereas I don't have a life. And I just took the excuse to, like, I want to keep making music. This is going somewhere. I'm really loving this. When it works and when it comes together, it's like, holy shit. Like, wow, Summer Sucks exists. Where did this come from? Well, this is really cool. And I'm like, wait, I want to keep doing this. I want to make more things like this. I want to see what else can be done with this.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's the answer, I guess.
That's a good answer. So what year did you start?
I guess I'm not entirely sure. Like, I think Lindsay has said it's like 2013, and I think it was 2013. It's like 2013, 2014. It was one of those years.
Okay, that's still, yet again, like an over 10-year project. Really, it's very incredible. Let's see. Ren says Amanda Palmer sucks, but the Evelyn project introduced me to concept albums. I just love the idea. I love the idea of concept albums, too. I gotta completely agree with that. That's a great point. Blueberry says, Jordan, maybe try OpenMPT. Don't know what that is, but you know what? Doesn't hurt to ever look into things.
I can look into it, although working with MuseScore, I've gotten fluent in sheet music. So I understand, like, a lot of music software is not in sheet music. It's usually in, like, an open roll piano. And I don't really like open roll pianos. I like sheet music. But I can look into it.
Yeah, you never know. I know for me, like, when it came to having to deal with editing and shit like that, I had to mess around with a bunch of different programs before I found one or two that I even remotely could work with. But that is what it is. Well, my God, we made it through. We've made it through all of the Sunsetters so far.
Yeah.
But the story's not done. It's still in progress. These are the most recent things that have come out, and we have just caught us all up to date with Jordan's over 10-year project that he's been working on with Lindsay.
Yeah.
And with other collaborators, Ellie herself included. Amazing that. And Audrey, which sadly doesn't look like is in chat. But hey, you know what? Maybe watching this on a VOD. Good job, Audrey. Fantastic work.
Thank you, Audrey.
We're really looking forward to where the rest of this project is going to go in the future.
In the future, it'll just be like single album releases.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you a big backlog of albums. As much as I would love to do that, I love dropping that on people. But,
of course. I get that. I'm also, I know I personally am very interested in the bizarre murder mystery going on with the Gothic Egg stuff. I think that's really interesting, and I'm really curious to see where you're going to go with it. Because I think ultimately that could probably end up being a very long play. It could tie into quite a few future albums. I think that would all be really fucking
I do have ideas for it. I've got some vivid ideas even of plot things and also what music will be tied to it.
Good. What are all the main bees' names? Oh, the members' names. What are all the Sunsetter members' names?
I'll tell you what. I'll give you the website. sunsetters.neocities.org.
You can also check the description of the live stream, and you will see his DJ.32 NeoCities. It's in there as well.
That's my personal website, and then on that website, there's a music button. You click on that, takes you to the Sunsetter's website. On there, it gives you the band members' names, and it gives you everything. You can just go dig around. It's all in there.
Yeah, it's all there. You're more than welcome to find out, because for all we know, there might still be secrets.
Yeah.
That he hasn't revealed to us on the stream.
There is, in fact,
there are a few things, not a lot, but there are some he has told me about, but we're not going to reveal here.
Yeah, I'll say there's 70 minutes of music that we have not covered on stream, and won't cover on stream. There's reasons for it. It's not as interesting as the Glitch album.
It's a lot of pornography.
It's more of an Easter egg.
It's not pornography. I was kidding.
If you want to go digging around on the website, good luck. It doesn't the link to it does not look like a link, so have fun.
It looks like a Zelda. Ha!
Cute.
Thank you. Okay, well. Fantastic. I hope everybody's really enjoyed that. It's time for the end of the stream shenanigans. Let me find out who our top leaderboard people are for this week. In third place, we have C5G Sound Card. Congratulations, third place, C5G Sound Card. You haven't appeared in the chat, but that's okay. I'm still really proud of you. You might be a lurker. No shame in that, buddy. No shame in that at all. You're third place. Third place, it says. Amazing. In the leaderboard, you have the crown. Second place, we have Ren. Ren, excellent work.
Ren.
Good shit as always, Ren. Excellent. And in number one spot is Blueberry. Blueberry 11 user.
Cool.
Unfucking believable. Good job, guys. Good job. So, what we like to do at the end of the shenanigans is the top three, they get to pick one thing we do. Or at least me. I mean, if he's tired and he needs to go, that's absolutely fine.
I am very tired. I was actually going to ask if
no, you're absolutely allowed to. I will do stuff for these guys, no problem at all.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for covering this.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing.
I hope you enjoyed it personally.
Oh, I really did. I wouldn't have gone through all that if I really didn't.
I'm disappearing.
Yep.
I'll see you guys later. We'll see you next week for Dark Harvest.
Damn right. Dark Harvest, we're starting next week. But let's do some shenanigans. As I shift my microphone and things around. Yeah, I'll fuck around with it. It's alright. Just get a little bit more. Oh no, my thing is stuck. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit better. Alright. Tell you what, I might turn off my thing so that way you can see a little bit more. It's what I like to typically use. As much as I enjoy the green screen removal capability, I also like it when you can see a little bit more. Oh god, it looks incredibly dark. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll stick with that. It looks a little more pleasant that way. Let's do that. My goodness gracious. So yes, Jordan is quite tired. So I felt it was only polite to let him go, let him rest. He needs it. He was up early. He's been doing all kinds of work and everything like that. He's very project oriented. I totally understand. It was spooky. It was spooky, wasn't it? It makes the place look incredibly dark, you know, which is crazy because it's actually not that dark. But just the cameras don't pick up these can't. To be fair, I don't have the best lighting in this room. I will be completely honest. I have one light bulb, and it does an okay job. But it didn't look that dark to me. So. Oh, it's Mommy Dommy is third place. Oh. C5G soundboard is Mommy Dommy. God, it's so weird to say that just constantly. Well, so here's what we're gonna do. Because we still have a little bit of time, and I'm happy to hang out with you guys for a little bit. So, in third place, Mommy Dommy gets to go first. I can't believe I have to keep saying that. Mommy Dommy. Roleplay session at Little Caesars. You get to pick something that we're going to do. Are we going to watch something? Yet again, time permitting, maybe up to like 10 minutes or something. 10 to 15 minutes is fine. Are we going to read something? Do you want us to discuss a topic or something along those lines? Do you want us to answer questions and stuff like that? Do you want us to hang out? What would you like? That's a real good question. I'll let you think about it. Second place, Ren. The same question will come to you because we'll go for you next. And then first place, Blueberry, if Blueberry's still around. Question also goes to you. So think about these things. I'll let you guys decide what we're going to do for a little bit at this end of the stream here. Worst case, I will fill for time and distract you, and if nobody really picks anything, I will pick from the random videos that I have on my Spooky Saturdays playlist, because there are random things that I need to watch that I have not watched. Maybe Nearly There by Jogir Lil Jadal. Okay, so I can look at it, but yet again, if it is copyrighted, like as though it is actual music by an actual musician, we cannot play it, okay? There are very specific things we are not allowed to do. And I will not have my channel be struck down. I've already had one strike. I cannot afford to get more strikes, because then my entire channel goes away. And, well, you will not see Nate at Night again. In fact, they might even take down my other channels, which is incredibly painful. Flower, hi, buddy. Welcome back. I know you're here still, but I did say welcome back. That was a wrong of me. It's copyright 1993. Cannot play it, then. We cannot play copyright material, because yet again, it could destroy my channel. So, I'm afraid we cannot do that one. We could watch the video in silence. We can technically do that. And we can talk over it. But we cannot use the copyrighted audio material inside music, because it is a very bad time. And, yeah, I mean, you can ask people from previous live streams before. We've had a number of streams taken down. And so that is why I am incredibly careful about this now. We can try to watch other YouTube videos, or yet again, we can listen to certain things. We can look at stuff. We can talk about stuff. There's a number of things we can do. We just can't watch copyrighted material. Can you send a link? You can send a link. Yes, I think you can put it in the chat, and I will investigate it. I will do that before I put it up on the screen, just in case. But yes, you can. You can do that. I will allow it, because you're one of the top 3. If it was a rando, probably not. Just turning my fan. Reminds me, I really need to rewatch Hellraiser. You know, it's been a hot fucking minute. It was like one of the earliest horror movies I've ever seen. This was probably back in I watched it probably 2008, 2009. It's been a long freaking time. And they have sequels. I really need to rewatch Hellraiser. It came into my head because apparently there's like a game coming out. I saw a trailer for it the other day, and I was like, that's fucking random. Out of all the things, because I thought it was like a Dead by Daylight thing, but no, it's like an actual official game. Incredibly strange. Incredibly strange. Really, really interested in that. We will see what Mommy Dommy comes up with. Ren, I hope you have your choice locked and loaded, my friend. Oh, by the way, Jordan did find me. Last week we were talking about Nintendo fucking shenanigans and stuff, and he did indeed end up showing me the picture that looks like Toad is wearing a diaper. I did see it. And I have to agree with him. It did look like Toad was wearing a diaper. Toad is just a fucking really strange things. You're DMing me links to some pics you took. Ooh. Oh my god, really? Okay. Over on Discord, yeah, buddy? Hell yeah, we can share some of that with the class. Dude. You took 2 EMH filming locations, the cabin and Baldpate Mountain. Dude, that's fucking cool, man. What? Wow. I also gave you a specific title for our Discord group. You're now the ambassador of EMH in our little Discord community. Just thought I'd let you know. I gave you an official title. We'll see how many people ask you what EMH is. I thought it was only fitting. As a self-proclaimed title you gave yourself, and I was like, well, I'm happy to honor it. I'll call you that. Okay, so I've got your stuff. Yeah, see, as I said, people are going to start asking, what's EMH? Everyman Hybrid. It's an older Slenderverse series that we've watched a whole bunch of. You said you've seen EMH anyway earlier in this stream. What are you talking about? How are you confused? Fucking fake fan, man. Fake fan. What you doing? What you doing? Okay. I can close that one now. Oh, all right. Of course you did. Of course you did. Mommy Dommy, did you find a link, my friend? Look, if you, there's a whole live stream review series we covered. Yeah. God, we certainly covered it. We certainly covered it. A lot of VODs of us watching and talking and discussing Everyman Hybrid. Fun times. Fun times. Didn't know what it stood for. That's fair. That's fair. I understand. EMH, it confuses me sometimes too. I totally understand that. So we have Ren's pick, which is good. No sign of Mommy Dommy yet with a link, which is fine. I will come back to them. Blueberry, you still around, my buddy? Have you perhaps thought of a choice that you would like us to either watch, talk about, discuss, or look into, or whatever? Your Wi-Fi cut out. No worries, Dommy. No worries. No worries, my friend. No worries at all. These things do happen. I completely understand. I don't know why I got an email about a PayPal service. I haven't used any PayPal. Oh, it says no activity. Why'd you send me an email then? No activity. I don't freaking need an email telling me there was no activity. I know there was no activity. Little bastards. If you not show up, pick you. I'm not gonna pick you, Hell in the Woods. I'm not destroying my standards here. Besides, you went last week. All right? Other people get chances. It's only fair. It's only fair, my friend. It's only fair. Go to all chat. I am in all chat. Am I not? I'm pretty sure I'm in all chat. But I don't see anything from you between can I send a link and my Wi-Fi cut out. Unless you put it in comments of this. Did you put it in the comments of this live stream? I think that's a separate thing. Let me have a look. I can do some wizardry. No, I'm not seeing anything. That's a mail. Let me have a look. You just wanted to say? That's okay. What would you like to say, Hell in the Woods? What would you like to say? I'll check some stuff, but I'm not spotting anything. I'm not even seeing where it might have put your thing in potential spam. I'm not even seeing that. It got filtered. Are you sure? Because I do not see it anywhere. Even in the filtration, do not see it. It must have got like mega filtered, like immediately destroyed or something then. I mean, that's okay. Do you know what I need to look up to find what you wanted to share? It's on Blueberry's channel. Okay. That works. I can work with that. I actually can very much work with that. Thank you kindly. Boop, boop, boop. Let me just check. Oh my goodness gracious. There's no more module edition. Okay. As long as yet again we're okay on the copyright thing, then we got nothing to worry about. We'll find out. Boop, 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 boop. There's Blueberry. Do I do this? Go to channel. All I see is he make his own music. Ooh. you say song rips? Can't play a rip if it's copyright material. So if these are songs that Blueberry made, like originally, then yes, that's fine. But some of his stuff say they're rips. Let me have a look. I'm going to open MTPT. Retro Things with Homebrew, Manfred Minich. Who is Manfred Minich? I need to know who the author of the song is. Like, if you're Manfred Minich, then this is your music. We can play it, absolutely. If you are not Manfred Minich, this is something we need to know of, because I might not be allowed to play this. Is what I'm saying. Because I don't know. Oh, I see no more Roblox copyright replacement music. I am incredibly confused, guys. You just found a random cover. Okay. Might not be able to play it then. Might not be able to play it. I mean, technically, yes, I can click the play button and it can go. But what I'm saying is within about a minute, they might take the stream down if it is any copyright material. So, afraid I'm not sure if I can play that. Funnily enough, people can upload things even if they don't own them. But no, we cannot play them on live streams. Or even in videos to an extent. I think you could only do like 15 seconds or less copyright material in videos, and then that is okay, because then you can do creditations. Anything beyond that, and they're saying you're just copying, and it's totally bullshit. So yeah, I will just to be safe, we will not touch that. I do apologize, it really sucks. We can, however, look at Ren's stuff, because these are pictures that Ren took, and that is absolutely loud. You just added the music because it's a part of robot copyright replacement music. What? Robot copyright replacement music. Okay. Does that make it copyright free though? Or royalty free? Like public domain? We need to know specifics about these things. If yet again, if this is your music and you have created it originally, that means you own the rights to it. We're allowed to play that. If you do not, even if it's a cover, that means somebody else owns the rights to it, and we do not know if we're allowed to. Yes, you did make that song. You made that song. Okay, well, if you made that song 100%, and it's not copied from anybody else, then yes, we can play that. Absolutely, that is not a problem. In which case, this is no more Module Edition. Copyright free, great. That's all I need to hear. I even like the artwork, it's quite cool. We got like the eye, it looks like it's in between blinds. You edited it so it sounds like somebody else's type of music. I see. Human, hello, welcome to chat, buddy. I'll kind of explain to you what's going on just at the end. It's nice to be able to vibe with the music, you know. It's interesting how this is music, but it's also like levels of noise. Yeah, it's funny, that. It's funny how, yeah, it's jarringly both. Very strange. but real. Hi, welcome to chat. We're listening to No More right now. This is No More Module Edition. It is so strange how it is music and it's also noise. A lot more of this music on one of my playlists. Nice, very nice. So this is all thanks to Mommy Dami, our top 3 of the leaderboard. This was what they told us to play, and after a little bit of research, we found out we could. Oh, it's still going. Sorry, I thought we were already at the end. Kind of discordant. Yeah, it's a good word for it. It's a good word for it. But it's like, it is and it isn't, right? It's this bizarre blend of music and not music. That was quite interesting. It was quite good. I liked that. You know, I'm gonna give you a like. Give you a like, Blueberry. Look at that. You got a like. That's good, man. Weirdly good. I don't know exactly how to describe why it was good. It was like just such a bizarre good. Noise and music, but like, it fucking weirdly worked. It did weirdly work. Well, thank you for that recommendation, Mommy Dami. That was your choice for being in the top 3. Congratulations. Now it is Ren's show and tell time for number 2. Oh yes, let me answer your question. Sorry. So, how do you get on the leaderboard? So it seems like you have to be a subscriber to the channel naturally. But you get in the leaderboard by watching live stream. I think the longer you watch it, the more XP you gain as well. It's like a whole thing. They kind of tell you and they kind of don't. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, here we go. Top fans at XP. What's the leaderboard? A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges and live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. How do you get on the leaderboard? You'll need to collect experience points or XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages, or send super chats and super stickers. Well, we all learned something here. Yeah, so if you ever need a refresher on that, there should be kind of a top fans button in the live chat thing somewhere. It looks kind of like a Twitch crown. If you click that, it'll show you the leaderboard, everybody's XP and stuff like that, which is cool. And then there's a question mark. If you click the question mark, it will kind of explain to you a little bit of how that works. So, yeah, how about that? This is like a super new feature. I think it was in maybe like a week or 2 ago. So we're still figuring this shit out. It's really interesting. So yeah, that's apparently how that works. And I'm just exploiting the system and somewhat rewarding the top 3 people every stream because it's kind of nice, you know. Climb the leaderboard, you simply send the messages. That is apparently the case. Send the message, hang out in live chat, have a good time. Absolutely human. Thank you. And yes, but for these live streams, it is typically like, I mean, we talk about whatever we're watching or listening to for the session. There's usually a kind of a thing that we're doing where we do a level of discussion, even with the chat included. And then this is an end segment where I kind of just give a little bit more for you guys based on the top 3 people and stuff like that. So yeah, a little bit of fun. A little bit of fun. I think I've covered the most important things here. Yes, right. We're moving on to our second person, our top 2, Ren, who wants us to check out some of the cool pictures that they have from their cool experience with the Everyman Hybrid time. Hang on a minute. Let me pull up some stuff here. Ooh. So, Ren, where are we? Is this Baldpate Mountain from Everyman Hybrid? Oh, yeah, because even this kind of looks a little familiar with the weird paved, but then that's all... This is Baldpate. Yeah. I do recognize it from some of the videos. It's actually really interesting to like see this and think of Everyman Hybrid and be like, oh my god, yeah, actually, I totally do. I do recognize some of it. Don't really recognize this little bit, but you know, unless it's maybe pertaining to that, I'm not entirely sure. Fence is kind of cool, even though obviously it's a little broken in some parts. Ooh, these are nice. But yeah, I'd say this one, not so much this one, but definitely this one. I really feel like I recognize the area, which is quite funny. Is it true I have a live stream tomorrow with the maker of Binary Moon Project? Yes. Tomorrow we have a live Q&A session with the creator, Dustin Stevens, of the Binary Moon Project. I've got a number of questions I'm going to ask him, and obviously I'll also let chat ask questions as well. It'll be a nice casual discussion, but also we get to we get to probe somebody's brain about their project. That's always fucking fun, if you ask me. What time? It's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern time, so it's going to be 7 p.m. UK time. If that makes any sense to you. Otherwise, if you just check out my channel and you click live, there should already be a scheduled thing for it, and you can see it based in your time zone. Just to let you know. So there was this one, which looks like he's got quite a couple of likes for that one, but then there's also this one that you've sent me as well here. Oh, this is the cabin! Oh, this is the cabin from the end shenanigans. Oh my god, Ren. You gotta go to these places? Wow. And naturally the woods out back and everything like that. That's incredible. Where the fight happened and stuff. Weird little bridge. Dude, that's crazy. So why did you get to was it you just was it like, you know, there was a special occasion to go? Was there like an event, or was it just like you figured out where the place was and you thought you'd check it out? You got a little bit of a story to tell us about being able to check out these sites, man. That's pretty freaking cool, dude. It is nice when you can like bring something you enjoy a little bit more to you know, to your reality, right? I think you know, it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. I gotta say, I'm hoping Ren could give us a little bit of the backstory about why you got to go to these places and stuff like that. Because I think there've been like meet and greets and stuff like that before, but I don't think they've really done any much since the project kind of ended. I'm not entirely sure. Mommy Dommy, sadly, you did miss the video if you've been gone for the past 5 minutes. I do apologize, but we did get to play it. We were allowed to play it, and so we did. And it was interesting. No module was... oh, no, sorry. Oh, God, I've already forgotten the name of it. Oh, no. No. Crap. No, it's because it's... Oh, man, I've already... No more module edition. That's the one. My God. Yes, it was good. It was weird how it was like music and also noise, and I think Rem put it best. It was like discordant. It was strange, but it was good. I even gave it a like. I gotta say, I was quite impressed. Ren says, I got to spend the week at the cabin as it's an Airbnb. Oh, it was a special trip I took with my now ex-boyfriend because we were both huge fans of the series. Ah, somewhat bittersweet, but you know what? It's cool though. It's still a cool experience you got to do, regardless. You know, it's you gotta hold it in there, right? You gotta hold it in there. That's fucking amazing. Helen Wood says I forgot to. Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who forgot the name of it. Human. I must be honest. I have no idea what we are talking about. So Ren's pick, because Ren was top 2 of the leaderboard, was they sent me pictures of some places out of Everyman Hybrid that we've covered recently. And because Rem was our expert guide for it as well. And just wanted to kind of share some of the experiences they had checking out, including the cabin at the end of the series where the big finale climax fight sequence kind of happened. And it's just really cool to like know some of the story about why he went to some of these places and stuff like that. You know, it's just really cool. I think it's really cool, in my opinion. Let me switch from that. You don't need to see how that all works back there. You don't need to see that nonsense. You gotta go. Take care, Mommy Dommy. Thank you for hanging out and being a top 3. Fantastic to have you. Blueberry, you still around, my dude? Have you got a pick for us? Ah, no worries, human. No worries. I do not mind explaining things. Sometimes people just need to know, you know? Ren says, I also got to eat at It's Nuts, the place where Vinny goes to at the end of the series. Ah, best milkshake ever. Aw, you didn't go to Hoagie Haven, though. I feel like that would have been a big one. I feel like that would have been a good one. Although, I'm waiting for you to tell me, oh no, you did go to Hoagie Haven. And I'm going to be like, of course you did. Because it gets brought up a lot, right? You checking copyright. No worries, Blueberry. No worries. You just let me know. And then we'll pull up whatever your suggestion is for today. You cooked since you're last in the leaderboard. Plural. Well, I mean, to be fair, you were later in. It's a tough thing. You know, it's a tough thing. But hey, Every week it resets. There's always a chance every week to be in the top 3, in which case then you get to make a pick. So don't worry. You might not have done it this week, but there's always another race next week. Always. So long as I'm doing a live stream, anyway. As long as I'm doing a live stream. If it's not a live stream, it doesn't count it. It has to be a live stream, apparently. So yeah. You didn't, sadly. Ah, that sucks. I feel like Hoagie Haven would have been the call. But who knows? Maybe is he even there anymore? Who knows, right? Who knows? It's on the mod archive. The mod archive. Oh, God. Okay. Is that a playlist of yours? Not that I can see. I feel like if I Google mod archive, that's going to bring up tons of things. Didn't have time to go, and it was still around COVID time, so like we didn't want to go someplace that might be closed or packed with people. Both not great options. That's fair. That's totally fair. You have to go hell in the woods? That's okay. It's been a pleasure having you, my dude. You take care out there, and I'm excited to see how your project's going to go. It's called A Cyber's World. Okay, A Cyber's World. Mod archive. Let me have a look. A distinctive collection of modules? Joe Gear edition. Well, yet again, who is Joe Gear? Is Joe Gear a musician? They a musician with copyright-free music? Because a lot of musicians aren't. Original song by Toby Fox. We can't play that. Well, actually, no. Actually, hang on. We might be able to play Toby Fox, because Toby Fox does his best to make sure we can play his music in his games, though. It is arguable. We might be able to do it. We might be able to do it. I might take a risk, because I know Toby Fox is quite good about that kind of stuff. So we might be okay. We might be okay. Yes, I'm at modarchive.org right now. I'll show you. I'll show you where I'm at. I'm here. I found a Cyber's World remix. Is that the one we're looking for? We might be able to. We might be able to, because if this is specifically Toby Fox stuff, which has been remixed, Toby Fox is usually relatively chill when it comes to copyrighting their stuff, so we might be okay. We might be okay. This is the one, yeah? Okay. So I guess play with online player. You can't see the window, I'm afraid. It's a different window. I'll tell you what, I might be able to... Oh no, it literally is a weird little window. Huh. Not even a tab. I can't tab it up there, can I? Yeah, I bet. Toby Fox is fucking... He's so damn good, isn't he? Not just for music, for games, just fucking knows what he's doing. TVCX, hi, welcome to chat. It might fit on a floppy disk because it's a module file. It's 228 kilobytes. I can actually tell you. Let's see. Because, see, something not a lot of people know, there was more than one version of floppy disk, right? Because there were some that were actually floppy, and there were some that were a little bit more stiff. Potentially. Yeah, because a standard one would typically hold 1.4 megabytes. So actually, yeah, that would fit. That would fit on there. Alright. It looks like the earliest version was 360 kilobytes. So even that, you would fit the one song on it. That'd be quite something. Wow. A Cyber's World. That was good, man. That was really good. That was good. That was good. Aww. Thanks, babe. So sweet. Bye, Hell in the Woods. It's okay. We all make mistakes. It's very funny. Yes, but technically, Blueberry, you were right. Because that song is 228 kilobytes, it would fit on a floppy disk. Even a small one. Even a small old one, which only has 720 kilobyte capacity, it would still fit. Very impressive. Very freaking impressive. How about that? Ren also says, speaking of Toby Fox, I think it'd be cool if you played the Off remake. Toby did some of the new battle music, and Off is just an excellent game in general. Off remake. What is that? Unsettling cult classic RPG Off. Let me have a look. Take control of the battler? The batter. Trusted with the Sacred Mission, one of the most influential RPGs of the last 20 years. Oh. Oh. That looks interesting. No, I don't know Off. I do not know Off. But it looks pretty cool, I gotta say. I'm liking the vibe. Liking the style. Certainly strange. Let's watch the trailer. Fuck it. We can watch the trailer. Play, you bastard. This fucks. Yeah, okay. Let me add that on my wish list, bro. It's pretty good, I gotta say. That does look pretty good. I kind of like the look of that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, that's funny. That's real funny. Blueberry says there's a lot more copyright-free song on the mod archive. Oh, right. That's good to know. Good to know for future stuff, for sure. Bye, Hex. Good to see you. Bye. Oh, you're telling them bye. Sorry. I apologize. I was confused. So, yeah, I don't know Off. Excellent news, Ren says. How am I? I'm quite good, Hex. I'm quite good. You've sadly jumped in fairly late into the stream. We're probably going to wrap up in the next 5-10 minutes. But it's fantastic having you here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. That's a lovely time. We've just finished the Sunsetters project, as it currently is at its current state. My younger brother's project, thing he's been working on for over 10 years. So it's quite something. It's quite impressive to see how far it's come. And he's going to carry on with that, of course. It reminds me that I need to carry on with my project. And so one thing I'm doing in the Discord is every Wednesday now, I'm trying to make sure that I kind of force myself into one of the calls, one of the call rooms there. And I just literally sit down, I hang out, and I'm going to just focus work on the project and stuff because I really fucking need to. Really, really need to. You've been supposed to stream? Don't worry, Hex. There's always another stream. We have live Q&A tomorrow with the Binary Moon project creator. That'll be interesting. Otherwise, every Friday, somewhat, most Fridays. Most Fridays we'll do a stream. We'll do a stream where there will be segments like this where it's proper little hangout, chill out, chat. For the most part, we tend to dive into something and watch it and react to it and discuss it and stuff. But yeah. Just kind of give you an idea. It's relatively chill at times. Just to let you know. Let's see. One of the coolest RPG Maker games out there. It does look pretty freaking sweet. I'm not gonna lie. And I do like RPG Maker, but I also like RPG Maker because weirdly there's a lot of horror games in that. It's really, really funny that. Really funny. I played Mukurales on it, and it's like a Little Red Riding Hoodie, weird kind of horror thing. It was pretty good, to be fair. It was pretty good. Certainly fucking strange. But some of them can be quite good. Some are quite good. I do like horror games. I cannot help it. Now, what's this? So that was Off, which is an RPG Maker game. And I gotta say, it looks pretty fucking sweet. Let's see. I hope I'll be here for the stream tomorrow. Fantastic, human. Excited to have you. Off has a horror element to it. Ooh, I definitely will love that game. I definitely think so. It looks like it's a wackadoo RPG, and it has elements of horror. Fucking sweet. All over that. Sounds fantastic. Sounds real fantastic. Otherwise, when it comes to other horror games, I've just finished. I finished playing Order 13. Just this past week. The VODs have gone up on my gaming YouTube, which is certainly a weird horror game. It's a weird horror game where you work at a warehouse at night. You have to protect a cat, which, by the way, he was my little wizard Sebastian. He was a great guy. I love that boy. But yeah, you have to make deliveries even though there's like monstrosities in the warehouse and stuff like that. And it's strange to think about. It's a cool atmosphere and it's good for horror, but when you really try to break down what the fuck is going on, you learn nothing. It's a real shame. Because it was good. I have to admit. I also played Dollmare because I got them in a bundle, and Dollmare was interesting. Dollmare was interesting because you work in you work at a doll making factory. You're the only employee besides this director who kind of tells you what to do, but you never really see him. You see like his silhouette all the time, and you find out that the previous person who worked in your position disappeared. But of course they didn't disappear. Turns out they got turned into a doll. I'm talking like one of those little fucking like Cabbage Patch dolls, right? It's fucking weird. It was good. It's good that. Here's still. Congratulations, Flower. Congratulations. I'm glad you're still here. I'm just kind of rambling on tangents at the moment, talking about the horror games I played this past week anyway. God, what else? I mean, horror game-wise, it's a shame I haven't really played a massive amount of them recently. I've been playing a fair bit of Supermarket Simulator because I really wanted to kind of just do some simulation games this summer. And so, been doing a bit of that in my little bodega. It's pretty great. I keep calling it a bodega because it really feels like a fucking bodega. I've got a cashier now who literally just constantly stares at me, just really fucking creeping me out. I'm going to knock his lights out at one point. He also makes a mess where he stands, so I think he's like pissing himself, and it's really disgusting. He's right in front of the customers. It really irks me because I have to keep fucking cleaning up after him. And he just stands there and stares. He's just a creepy dude. I don't really love having him there. But he does allow me to get on with other shit. So, it's a bit of a shame in my bodega. I really don't like him. Really don't like him. Creepy dude. Does Woods have an ARG? What was he talking about? Yes, Woods has he has a Twitter story ARG that he is making. We read the intro sequence to it last week on the stream. It's a bit rough. I will not lie to you. I will not be mean, but it is a bit rough. And yes, Hell in the Woods. That is what it's called. What is my number one favorite horror game? Ooh, God, that's a fucking tough one. That is a tough one. There are a lot of good horror games. It really depends as well. Although I have to say, one of the best horror games that I've personally played of all time would probably be Alien Isolation. That is a fucking phenomenal horror game because it's more than just horror. It's survival horror for sure, but it's so good because it's a creature that you can't really kill. You have ways to deal with it and you have ways to evade it and things like that, but you can't really kill it. Like when you know it's going to be there, you just have to find a way to deal with it so you can keep doing whatever your current mission is at the time. But you can't stop it. You can't kill it. If it catches you, I mean, that's it. You have died. The story is good. The atmosphere is good. The graphics are good. It's a great length of a game. Even the DLCs are good. Dude, I mean, Alien Isolation is top-notch. Definitely one of my all-time favorite horror games. It is so good. It's so good in so many ways because it doesn't rely purely on jump scares. It doesn't rely on only the atmosphere. It gets everything right. It just gets everything fucking right. And I'm not just saying that because I also love the Alien movie franchise, but it just understood what the assignment was. Because there are also a lot of bad Alien games. Like, don't get me started. Alien versus Predator, ugh, not a good game. Or fucking, well, Fireteam Elite was okay, but it was still not good. Although I'll tell you what was actually surprisingly good of an Alien game, Alien Dark Descent. I actually really enjoyed that one. I actually really did. That was actually quite a good game. Because it was a little bit more like XCOM, but like live, like constantly going in time XCOM. It was really fucking good. Really fucking good. Really good shit. Otherwise, Evil Within. I like the Evil Within 1 and 2. Those are really good. Even the DLCs, those are really good. Resident Evil, I mean, I'd say they're less horror. They're definitely a lot more survival-based when it comes to the horror aspect. Although Resident Evil 7, that's a fucking phenomenal game. That's really freaking good. Really understood what atmosphere was. Good shit. The Silent Hills, classic. Can't go wrong with those. Well, I mean, the later series, it does kind of get a little irky. Until you get to that new free PlayStation 5 one. Short Message, Short Letter, something like that. I personally haven't played it, but I have seen a gameplay of it because I didn't have a PlayStation at the time. And I thought it was quite good. Although I gotta say, I'm looking forward to Silent Hill F. That looks like good shit, man. Looks like good shit. But if it comes to like more indie stuff, I just think there's so many horror games. It's just like one of the best things in the world. You know what? Lost in Vivo as an indie horror. That was quite good, actually. That was quite good. Some people would say Cry of Fear. I think it's more actiony and jump scary than horror, in my opinion. Dead Space. Dead Space is a good call, actually. Dead Space was good as well. There's tons. I'm sure I could ramble on, especially the more I really think about it. There's tons. There's tons. Man with the plan. Hi, buddy. Welcome back to chat. Okay, Mommy Dommy. I mean, I don't really know how much of that we want to talk about. Probably not a lot. It's a horrific place. I think we can leave it at that. So be very careful, my friend. Be very careful these days. YouTube is pretty hardcore when it comes to certain political topics, especially when it involves children. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So be careful. Be very, very fucking careful. Because I cannot protect you from them. Because I can't protect myself from them. YouTube are law in here. This is their fucking platform. Hey. Yeah. No, I think it's kind of it. It's kind of it. Seen anything recently this week? Been watching. I watch certain kinds of shows. I do watch horror things as well. Oh God. I know I've caught up with Dawn to Dawn. I know season 2. I've just finished the first episode. I'm excited for new Demon Slayer. That's gonna be fucking sweet. The movie. Oh God. Otherwise, I've watched like Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Blind Frog Ranch. I like those. I like this kind of shows. You know, some of them are. I mean, they're definitely very heavily scripted. But Secret of Skinwalker Ranch does have a fair amount of science going on. I think it's really cool. I like that. Do I have an ARG myself? I've been here just not chatting. You're doing homework. It's fair enough, man, with the plan. My project will have ARG elements, but I wouldn't fully call it an ARG because it's not all about the ARG side of what's going on. It's going to be a bunch of stories, basically, and case files and stuff like that. You're going to have access to these kind of things, especially through a website when I'm ultimately done with it. And yeah, and obviously there'll be videos on the stories as well because that helps me. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very good. And yes, there will be. What's it called? So the project itself is called the Infinity Bureau. That's my world building exercise. That has the ARG elements because it is their cases that we are making the stories about. And the first case / story that we're learning about, which introduces them, is The Moon Blinked, which we've already got part 1 out. I do technically have the story for when he's in captivity. I do have that written down. It's on Reddit and maybe another place. I kind of forgot. I haven't made a video on that part yet because it's a little bit raw. It's a little bit rough. It's not exactly the best storytelling sequence, but it's more about like just his raw guttural reaction to the fact that he's held in captivity in a really bizarre place. Yeah, so I'm quite excited about it. Sounds like a type of government. Well, I mean, they are a bureau, which means they have like a bureaucracy. They have an organizational structure, and maybe governments are, aware of them. Maybe they work with certain people. But otherwise, they do their best to stay under the radar. Kind of like a Men in Black type situation. That's a decent way to think about it. How do you have 400 XP now? Well, you just been here, man. You've been having a good time. What can I say? I mean, I have no choice over the XP stuff. I have no freaking idea. Hey, Hell in the Woods. What's going on? We're still just chatting, man. We're going to probably wrap up in about a minute or two. So, favorite song? Ooh, it changes. It really changes. I've never been the best at picking a favorite of anything. I tend to have things that I vibe with at periods of time. So I'd class them as like favorites. I've never been good at picking like one. But I'll tell you some music that I'm really liking at the moment, if you like. I can actually pull up a playlist and I can tell you the ones I've kind of been listening to the most at the moment. Because you asked, and I will tell you. I think it is only polite and fair. Let's see, the ones that I'm currently listening to a lot at the moment. Another Way to Die by Jack White, because it's a James Bond song, but it's really fucking good. I like me some Red Hot Chili Peppers. Dark Necessities is a really good one. And, I'll tell you what, Runaway by Houston. That's a damn good song. And Unraveling, a new song by Muse. Actually, that's got some great vibes. Fun fact about Muse. So in a lot of my early career of playing Dungeons & Dragons, I know, incredibly off topic at the moment, the DM that I played with the most at the time, they were talking probably 12-something years ago, it was heavily Muse. There was a lot of Muse that was being played. So Muse means a lot to me because it always takes me back to some earlier D&D times. It was good shit. Let's see. Based. What's your favorite horror movie? Probably not Dear David. I was definitely not. Still haven't even seen it. I feel like I have to do a movie night on it sometime. I really do. Maybe I'll do a Discord movie night and we'll watch Dear David. That sounds really fucking funny. That's a good reminder that I need to watch it. But no. Favorite horror movies? That's yet again, there are movies that I like. And it's hard for me to be like, that's the top number one. When it comes to horror movies I like, first ones that kind of come to mind are Insidious, Sinister. Sinister's really good. Babadook's awesome. Conjuring 1 and 2, those are quite good. I would say Paranormal Activity, but it's kind of arguable. It's a bit rough. It's not always the best. You could also get into like Midsommar territory. You could get into, if you want to go a little bit older school, The Shining. The Shining's good, but more psychological horror, but still really fucking good. Alien, the first Alien, that's a great horror movie. Even Aliens, the sequel, really good. Kind of gets a little wacky after that, but those two are fucking great horror movies. God, yeah, it really depends on how far back you want me to go. You're not good at spelling. Don't worry about it, Hell. No worries. Not. Human. I really want to get into D&D, but I just haven't got around to it yet. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of role-playing and creativity with levels of combat. So you really need a group that vibes with having a good time and isn't always so worried about focusing the objective, because a lot of D&D ends up being fucking around. But that's what makes it fun. Creativity. It's really great. It's really, really great. Do a review for it. You know what? I might eventually do a review for the Dear David movie. I feel like people want me to review a variety of things, and you know what? If it's what people want, I will probably do it. Because why the fuck not? If people want me to talk about random shit, I'll do it. It's fine. Wait, there's Discord. There is a Discord community. It's kind of on lockdown at the moment. We are working on some things because I'm still in a weird membership adjustment period where I'm trying to figure out what I probably need to do best money wise because as you can imagine, being a YouTuber isn't exactly the most lucrative career when it comes to making money. So I'm having to make a couple of changes to try to make a bit more money, but I'm also going to see about getting back into the working world as well. Anyway, because I need to get back out there. I really do. I miss working in IT. I'm a fucking nerd. I can't help it. What is Discord? Discord is it's a fun place where a lot of people like to hang out in community rooms. A lot of chit chatting, whether it be text or voice. It's cool fun time. Dear David O. Don't have any groups to do it with. Yippee! I'm so sorry, human. I'm so sorry. I have thought about running some potential little like one-shots or games or something like that. I think it would make sense as well for me because as people can imagine, I'm kind of a storyteller in some regards. I'm not the best with voices. I will completely own that. But I might get a voice modulator or something. I think it'd be kind of fun. I might do that. In which case, maybe I'll do some little public things. That'd be kind of fun. You gotta go, Blueberry. No worries, buddy. I'm probably gonna wrap up in a minute or two here anyway. It's been nearly 4 hours now. So, when your ARG is done, will I read it? Yes, because it is a Twitter story, and that is a big draw that everybody always wants on my channel. So of course I'll read it. They always want the Twitter stuff, even though, well, I mean, as you probably know, there's really not a lot of it out there. It's a very bizarre place at the moment. Must say, if you don't have a nice voice to listen to, I wouldn't say, "Ah, thank you, human." I think that's a fair amount of the draw why people do listen to me. Besides the fact that I cover, well, I mean, the Twitter stuff is very interesting, obviously. But I like to think I cover interesting things. But I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the fact that you find my voice something nice to listen to. I think it's. I've heard that quite a number of times throughout my life, and I think that's part of the reason. It might be one of the reasons why I kind of started doing something like this. So, if you have money you'd support, that's very kind. That's very kind of you, Hex. I do my best to have things be free, but so the membership model they really want me to do is to be like, okay, well, keep the bread and butter that people like. You can still do that for free, but then if they want the extra stuff, that's when they start paying. And I'm like, I mean, I understand that model, but the problem is it's not like I have a lot of other services to offer. I'm not really an artist. I'm a talker. That's my thing, so it's very funny. Maybe you should follow it. The story ends in 3 days. As you've said a few times, Hell, but yes, don't worry. I am following you on Twitter. I will keep an eye on it. Don't even worry about it. All right. Well, it's been a fantastic time, everybody. I've had super fun, and I sure hope you have too. We even got to do a little bit of top fan stuff at the end of the stream. It's excellent shit. And a nice little hangout at the end as well. Not bad. Right, tomorrow we have the Binary Moon Project live Q&A with Dustin Stevens, the creator. I think it's going to be very cool. Looking very forward to that. Otherwise, we have a week filled with a bunch of videos coming out. It's going to be pretty crazy. So probably on Sunday or Monday, I will yet again, as a community post, I'll put up what the schedule is so you know what's coming and what's happening for the week, because it makes a lot of sense. I will probably see some of you tomorrow. I'll probably see some of you next week. I might not even see some of you ever again, which is a really sad thing. But it does happen, and I don't take it personally. Life happens. No problem. It's been great. I completely agree, Ren. Thank you. Ending already? I know. It is a real shame, human. But hey, there's tomorrow, there's next week, there's videos. Don't even worry. There's more stuff coming. There's also the gaming channel on YouTube where I put up stuff as well. So, there's also and Nate at Day. There's a couple of things. I'll try to make things a little more obvious. Okay. Thank you so much for hanging out, having a good time with me, everybody. We will see you next time. Take care out there. Oh, it didn't. It recorded. I have two buttons. Well, I have a number of buttons on my Stream Deck. One of the buttons specifically is to start and stop a live stream. And right next to it is a button to start and stop recording. Because I do live streams and I record stuff. And I do my best not to do both of them at the same time. I pressed the live button, and for some reason, it started recording. Jesus Christ. Well, can't be perfect, can we?